Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. My podcast that doesn't have a name yet. Hi, I'm Chad Rodgers, and I'm here today with
Louis Stone.
Louis Stone. Louis Stone is a really good friend of mine. We haven't seen each other in 2 years, year and a half.
About a year and a half.
Really long
really
time.
good friends.
Yeah, we were good friends.
And
we went to university together. We were in an improv group together.
Mm-hmm.
We made some projects together that didn't win any awards, but they should have.
Yeah. They were good.
They were good.
Yeah.
You know, I still use the Mooks. I was in a short film that he wrote and directed called The Mooks, and it was like one giant scene. It was
one giant scene.
It was one giant scene. It was about 16 minutes long.
I think it was about 72 director's cut. it's about 10 minutes long.
I still use that footage for my reel.
I'm glad. Hey, and that credit actually goes to Bobby Nielsen for being a great director of photography on that. So
Bobby did a fantastic job. Everybody did. You know, when's the last time you talked to Jamie Barkowitz?
I haven't. I probably hit her up for a couple tweets on a couple things she's said lately, but I haven't seen her.
She said one of the funniest things to me on that shoot, where it was in the middle of the night because we shot all night long, and
oh my gosh,
we were sitting and we were all just so tired, and I had smoked so many cigarettes, and she told this story about her roommate, and she was like, she opens bags of chips and then doesn't eat them because she likes eating stale chips. And so we have
oh my God.
we have 15 bags of stale chips in our cupboard. And I'm like, why don't you eat these chips? And she's like, I like eating them stale. But then I'm like, okay, why do you have 15 bags of stale chips? Why don't you just have one bag of stale chips? And her response was, because sometimes I just like a fresh bag. She's like, that doesn't make any sense if you like the chips stale.
I like a fresh open.
Yeah, right. Nice crisp open.
And then like a 3-hour sit.
So Louis is involved a lot now in app dating and online dating. Mm-hmm. You're going all in on this.
I'm going in. I'm down for it.
I fucked with a little bit of these dating. There's so many of them now. There's a lot. There's a lot of them.
I mean, I got a couple people that I'm following on Twitter, and just new things popping up every day. I'm not really even trying to pay attention to them.
What's the craziest one that you've heard?
Oh my God.
Have you been on Thrinder?
I've heard of Thruples.
Thruples? See, I haven't tried Thruples yet. That was the first thing that came to
mind is a crazy one.
Oh, is that crazy people?
Crazy, I guess. But
I mean, anything that involves Thrinder is like Tinder. It's just for threesomes. So anything that involves a threesome is probably going to get a little hairy.
I mean, it's off color in terms of what we think as a traditional dating relationship. So what's a crazy? I don't know. People who date with their dogs. I think that's kind of weird. Can our dogs get along?
How about dating with ferrets?
I'm waiting for that one. I'm gonna.
What do you mean you're waiting? It's already a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, there's ferret meetups, and you can have dates with people. I know it's very popular in New York because in New York your life has got to be so fucking miserable that you need a ferret just to make it.
Really, there's a lot of people for ferrets.
It's ferrets and possums.
So I'll tell you. I know the mechanics about every dating app. Every dating app basically has the same structure, and I can give you all the information on that. In terms of how many dating apps there is too many to count. There's too many snowflakes to find out there, and I will not be able to know all of them. But there's ferrets. Okay. Ferrets. Got it.
Look up the ferret. I don't know what it's
I'll
called.
Look it up. You don't even know what it's called?
No, I don't have a ferret. I mean, if I had a ferret, and
okay, yeah, that's
if you have a ferret and are really horny, Google. Just don't fuck your ferret.
But isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing that we're First of all, I approve that message.
Okay, good.
Second of all, isn't this amazing that you can just find compatibility with someone who has the same pet animal you have?
Yeah.
And that's like an axis of people trying to find a mate. That's like a significant axis that people will not only list it. Oh, I have a ferret. And if you have a ferret, you gain some points.
Yeah.
They will go on a specific dating app for ferrets or dogs or whatever pet you have. And that's something that's significant to them.
It's like being a vegan.
Yeah.
You say that you're a vegan and you want to date people who are vegans.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense because it's convenient.
Unless you're a girl, because then you want a guy who's not a vegan so you can change him.
Maybe. My girlfriend's a vegan. She doesn't want to change me.
Really?
Yeah, she's totally cool.
Tell me about. I don't know who is she.
Her name's Kayla.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been about a year and 3 months.
Wow. You guys don't live together though?
No.
No. Where does she stay? What part of the city?
She's up in the. She's a little farther northwest. She's
Northwest,
like
West
Calabasas.
Hills, or like
Calabasas, West Hills. Yeah.
Yeah, West Hills.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking like where she's originally from.
Did you meet her on a dating app?
I did not meet her on a dating app.
Oh man, you're gonna have to fucking change that story and start lying because that's terrible for your brand.
No, you think it's terrible for my brand, but I think it's actually a stronger point for my brand.
Why?
Because the idea of dating apps is that even if you don't meet the one or a person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, you get amazing access to just meet people and learn from them and practice learning how to be a good date. I don't think we talk about that in regular life a lot. We talk about our own deal breakers. You know, we talk about like what I want, what this person better have. They better have these 50 things or I'm done. They're not even coming close to me. But we don't.
Or I'm gonna tase them.
Yeah,
just gonna fucking tase them.
No, it's over. It's over. If you don't watch The Office, this isn't gonna work out.
Yeah, you don't watch The Office. Bzz.
I don't want to date you.
Sorry, Dwayne. Bzz.
Like, but seriously,
Dwight, not Dwayne.
But like, seriously, we don't talk about what am I doing to be a good date for you. How am I supposed to make sure that you're comfortable on this date? My philosophy is, you go on a date. Your number one thing is to make sure that they will not have any other question on their mind except, do I like this person? Make them that comfortable. Make sure you serve them that much. They don't have to worry about anything else. Is dinner going to be okay? Where are we going? Is this a restaurant? Is this a good neighborhood? Is he going to show up on time? What time did he say he was going to show up? What time did he say? No, just make them feel so comfortable. Make sure you have everything taken care of to the point that the only question they really have to ask themselves is, do I like this person?
I don't know. Does that question come up very often? I feel like you're right about us throwing everything on top of that dating situation. So what exactly are you saying? Are you saying you should, like, quality comes from quantity, practice makes perfect, go on a lot of dates with a lot of different people and practice for when you meet somebody important?
I'm saying we need to get out of our own way.
That's a problem with our generation, isn't it? It's the technology, man. There's so much. Sometimes I don't want to like make eye contact with people. It's like a real problem. Right. Where I'm like, I just want to stay in my fucking shell and I don't want to feel like I'm being judged like everybody on the internet does all the time.
Right.
So I'm going to go to the internet where everybody judges me. Like it's fucked up.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It's not good.
But it's weird that our generation kind of has to make a conscious effort to have human interaction with other people because now in our society it's become so easy just to kind of be in our own little bubbles and never really go outside and just
we no longer have the chance to have random interactions. We have really minimized that.
Yeah,
the probability of just bumping into somebody, even if you don't know them,
unless you're shit-faced. That's why bar culture is so popping right now.
That's a good point.
Because people, that's like where you can still do it, but like you get a little buzz going, so you take off that social thing, and then you just bump into another guy. Sorry, bro. It's okay, bro. What's up, bro? Oh,
yeah, you get your confidence, but then you also get a little hyped.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also like only like people who like want to drink.
Yeah.
Or people who are okay with like I want to like. So how many people have actually like in terms of romance met the love of their life in a bar?
I'd say a good number.
A good number. But would you say like most people?
No.
And that's the whole point. It's like, okay, so this is the only place where we're going to have random bumping into each other interactions. And it's also probably not like the best.
Yeah, that's interesting. You got to think about like the fairy tale stories that you hear.
Right.
Are there's two parts of this I want to make. One, you hear them. And it's like, oh, I went kayaking with some friends, and the girl at the kayak counter, that's where I met her, and we fell in love. And I went kayaking, But honestly, I just kept pretending that there was something wrong with my kayak so I could keep talking to her.
so
You know,
cute. Yeah.
I'm just making something
Right,
up.
but I go, oh yeah,
Yeah, and then the other part of that though is that
totally.
how do you mitigate the criticism that that's a problem with dating apps? That there isn't that spontaneity of bumping into somebody, that it's a swiping culture. Would you consider yourself like a proponent for online dating apps?
Proponent?
Yeah, proponent.
Like I support it?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I support it.
So then how would you face that criticism of like somebody's like, it doesn't feel genuine because like it's so set up? You know what I'm saying?
It can be so set up. It depends on if you're just being authentic. If you're still just being you on the dating app and then you match with somebody and you're just kind of talking with them and you're trying to be genuine and you're trying to show genuine interest because you match with this person, so I would hope you have genuine interest, right? But just you can still be yourself. I'm not about like you be you. I'm like, you can just still be yourself.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have to set yourself up, and it's just going to happen. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen, and you should be okay with that. You should understand that, like anything else, if you meet a person in person or if you meet a person over the internet or through your phone or whatever, you're still going to fail. It's not going to work out every time. Don't expect it to work out the first or the second or the third time. My rule of thumb, it's just a rule of thumb, is let yourself fail 12 times. Let yourself fail 12 times.
Yeah.
Okay? And then start to think about it. And that's why I like dating apps, because it can speed up that process. You get through the probability of a lot. People say it's a numbers game. I'm like, yeah. And they get kind of bummed out because it is a numbers game. And they're like, what do you mean? I don't think it's a numbers game. No, romance is totally there. I'm like, sometimes we let ourselves we let the narrative get in the way. Because I didn't meet this person at the kayak shop. Because I didn't have these opportunities to start faking that I have a broken kayak.
I think that's part of the, I've messed with online dating some, but I haven't had any success with it. And I am totally fine with that. I kind of am, we talked about it a little bit before we started recording, that, I'm kind of, on the brink with this whole app dating, online dating.
So you don't want to do it? You're thinking,
it's
one more week and I'm done.
I want to do it, but I haven't had any success from it. And
So what do you want to... So, okay, you haven't had success. So you've been hitting some speed bumps. Hitting some problems. It's been slowing you down.
Yeah.
Right? You wish this would happen faster.
Yeah.
I can help you. This is why I'm here. I got you.
So you're hitting some speed bumps.
You're hitting some speed bumps. There's 3 speed bumps to every dating app.
Okay.
Again, there's a basic structure, okay? So you want to know? Here we go. There's 3 speed bumps. Speed bump 1, and I want you to tell me if you're like, yes, I feel this.
Okay.
Speed bump 1, you don't match with people frequently, so it takes a long time before you can chat with someone.
I have shirtless pictures up. I match with people.
Okay, cool. That's great. Do you think would you say that other people have that issue though? If they don't want to go shirtless, or they don't?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Speed bump number 2, when you do match, you can chat, but people are often hesitant to respond, so you can't talk. How often do you talk with the people? So you get a bunch of matches, but how many people talk to you from those matches? Just
not many.
Not many.
Not many.
How ballpark number? How many matches would you say you get in a week? Ballpark.
I'm not doing it right now. I did it maybe last month, and I would say a week. 5, 7.
Okay, 7 matches.
I mean, I'm not spending a ton of time on it as well.
That's fine.
It's maybe a night or two. I'll go through while I'm pooping.
That's
and
fine.
Just
No,
swipe.
Seriously.
I'll just shit and swipe.
Hey, if Gary Vee does it on Instagram, you can do it here.
I just like to shit and swipe. So
hey, that's good. That's good.
shout out to my shitters and swipers. Or wipers.
Comment below and let us know if you do so.
Hashtag shit and swipe.
And how long are your sessions? But okay.
And how
cool.
itchy is your butthole?
So 5 to 7,
poop?
and then you say 5 to 7 matches per week.
Yeah.
Ish. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how many would you say talk to you?
1, 2.
1, 2. Okay, got it. And then here's the 3rd speed bump. If you do talk with someone, setting up a first date can be hard because of the fear of rejection and then schedule availability.
Here's a speed bump for me. Let me throw another speed bump in for you.
Do you feel like that's a speed bump for you? When you try to, how many people have you gone, okay, wait. So you said you did it for a month. Did you only do it for 1 month, like 30 days?
Yeah, maybe a month and a half.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, great. How many people did you meet in a month and a half?
Like actually physically meet them?
Get on a date in person, sitting there with a coffee or a drink or whatever you're doing. Did you meet them? Did you shake their hand? How many people?
One.
That is, look how much time, Chad, look how much time you spent trying to find one person.
Yeah.
And I'm saying you should try to fail 12 times, right?
Yeah. That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time. That's one. Let's bring it down to 1 month. That still takes you a whole year before you find a success.
Yeah.
Right. What if we could just make that easier? And not superficially, like we can make that faster for you. Fail faster.
I don't know if I want to meet people that way yet, too. You know what I'm saying? There's also like a little bit of my hesitance to spend as much time on it is like, is this the way that I want to try and meet somebody?
That's fine.
Because none of my relationships have ever come from an online dating app. And I mean, I do know people who have like literally gotten married like off of
Yeah, we hear those stories all the time.
Yeah. Not all the time, but I definitely know people.
You definitely know people. We start hearing enough that it's frequent enough. Okay. Yeah. So, and I can understand your hesitancy. I had a lot of hesitancies too, right? Here's my. You want to know how I got into it?
Yeah.
Here's how I got into it. I lost a job about a year and a half ago. I had some time on my hands before I was looking for the next job.
You were still here in LA?
I was still here in LA. All right, cool. I was like, okay, I got some time. I have some savings. And while I'm looking for a job, I need something to do. And you know what? I haven't connected with a lot of people. I haven't had a girlfriend in LA since I've been out here. Maybe I can go on some dates and I don't want to be part of the bar culture. I don't want to be part of like the nightclub kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can just find like a nice person. I want to see if I can find like someone who's my speed. I kind of like just going for nice walks around the neighborhood. I like grabbing ice cream. I do mini golf. I'm that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm down for it. Let's do it. So let's see if I can go find is that person in LA, and is there enough of those people that I can have a regular kind of
a group?
Yeah. Is there enough? Is there a big group that I can like?
I can
go on a couple dates with this kind of person, right? And it may not be like this. So, well, I went home because I went home for a week. Went back to Chicago, is where I'm from, and I said, hey, I don't know. I've tried Tinder, right? I've tried Coffee Meets Bagel for a second. You may not have heard Coffee Meets Bagel. It's okay.
Coffee Meets Bagel?
Coffee Meets Bagel. That's actually one of my favorites. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But I said, you know what? I should just download all of these. I should just go on my Google Play. I have an Android phone, so let's go on Google Play, download just search dating app and just download them all. And then I'll find
podcasts? Like, what are you downloading? Or you're just downloading the actual apps?
Every app. I'm going to download every app I can find, right? That sounds like a slog, right? But my whole goal was to say, okay, I'm going to find the one that fits me. Cool.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to find the one that fits me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the perfect dating app for Lewis Stone.
Yeah.
Got it. And what I found was not the perfect dating app, but the perfect dating apps.
Plural.
So instead of having one, maybe two, I had 9.
So which ones? What were the 9? Give me a couple of them. You don't have to like list off every single one of them, but
yeah,
like
I had
Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, like what?
OkCupid, Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel. I had Happen. I had a thing called Be Wild. I never went on there, but I just liked having it there. I had Clover. I've looked at Clover before. Hinge was something that came up later on that I was like, oh, like let's hold on for this for a little bit. So yeah, I just had a bunch of those. I had 9. I brought it down to like 6 or 7 after I realized I'm like, I never go on these 3. Okay, cool. What happens is you immediately open yourself up to a bigger pool. And some people are on certain dating apps, right? I was looking for a perfect dating app because I want to be a particular person on a particular dating app, right?
Yeah.
So certain people are on certain dating apps. Tinder's known as like the hookup app. Bumble's known as the one that like makes girls like stay safe and feel comfortable.
Bumble's it's fucked up, man. Nobody ever fucking messages me, girls.
I had a lot of people message me.
Man, I never get a goddamn person, and it's always just like, hey, like that's it. I'm like, come on, more than hey.
I think it's funny. I think it's particularly okay. So Bumble can also be kind of misleading. But anyway, so I had a bunch of dating apps, and so we always talk about the algorithm. Like, oh, I gotta like make sure I'm like with the algorithm. I gotta like, yeah, I'm gonna ride the algorithm out. No, so there's weaknesses and strengths to every dating app's algorithm, right?
Yeah.
But if you have 6 of them, you are now filling out the weaknesses and maximizing on strengths of all dating apps that you have. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You don't have to worry. So if I'm like, oh, I'm not getting stuff on Wednesday and Thursday. Boom. Okay. But I got like these other 2 apps that I'm fine with.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, have 6 dating apps. Put all your profile. Just make sure you have like a standard, like, okay, like 5 photos, and then write out a little bit of a profile and just stick it in. This takes you less than an hour to do, by the way. It doesn't take you a lot of time. And then you know what you do? You just sit there. You can choose to go on whenever you want to go on. You like to use the bathroom, you can do that. Mm-hmm. Or you can just sit there on your couch and come back in a week and just wait for people to notify you.
But don't you have to swipe on people?
You can. I mean, maybe swipe a little bit to get
started.
Started.
That's like how you match with them, right? Or do some of these other apps?
So OkCupid will let you can like a person's profile and then send them a message without you having to swipe back.
Oh wow! So it doesn't have to be a mutual thing, huh?
Mm-hmm. Coffee Meets Bagel allows you to like someone, and they can see, and then I can come back and see, oh, this, like, I had three people like me,
mm-hmm.
and then I can choose if I want to like them back. Like, I'll know who's already looking for me.
Yeah.
People just think, I think our whole concept of a dating app is still Tinder. It's a swipe once.
It is.
And you know how I think Tinder is really a big slog. You just
define the word slog in that context.
It is the slowest dating app. It's the first one, so I don't blame it. But it's like the slowest dating app, and they haven't changed their.
Why is it slower than the others?
So OkCupid allows you to. They offer the swipe option, but they also give you like a bunch of profiles that you can just scroll through, just like your music app on your iPod,
uh-huh.
right? Boom. You can just go. Boom. Doesn't take effort at all to just like. See people, see a girl, see a guy's profile, see what you like, and you can, like, based on that first photo, like, yep, okay, good, hit the like button, got him, okay, keep going, and just go through, and just, you can sort instead of just swipe.
That's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee Meets Bagel, they only give you around 10 to 15 profiles per day.
Wow.
Yeah, and they reset every 24 hours.
Now, is that something where, like, that you put in your preferences and it gives you people it will think that you like?
It tries to be as high quality of like a match it can be. It doesn't want to give you like, kind of, maybe like. It's like, we really think, and we really worked hard on this. They try to really hone down on what you're probably looking for.
And all of these are algorithms, right?
Yeah.
There's no like actual humans.
I'm sure there's people trying to make sure. No. In terms of the dating apps I'm talking about, no. There's minimal human contact.
Yeah, that would be like a dating manager.
Yeah, I mean, just get a dating coach at that point, right? So you do all these things. Again, I'm talking about, here's different structures. There's swiping, there's limited profiles but higher quality. There's scrolling. Yeah. There's different things, and I didn't know this. I knew this. I said Coffee Meets Bagel and Tinder. That's all I tried, right? And then suddenly. Again, OkCupid, oh my gosh, you can like scroll through. This is nuts. Hinge is kind of similar. Like Tinder just and so here's the thing. Tinder, on top of this, you swipe. Okay, match. Swipe, match. Okay, match. And now I gotta wait for who knows how long for that person to find my profile. They have to swipe enough to get to my profile.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people enjoy the swiping.
You get addicted to it.
But they don't actually go into the messages.
No. Sure.
So I've like tried to play into that, actually, because I figure that people's attention spans, here, you can use me as your guinea pig for online dating app dating.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll message them, but in like the first 4 messages, I'll be like, listen, I am like never on this application. Like, here's my phone number. I think you're cool. You should shoot me a text. Because I always check my text messages, but I never check these dating app messages. And same with them. So I try to real quick right away just be like, listen, here's my phone number. And I put it in their park. Put the ball in their court.
That's good.
I'm like, here's my phone number. If you want, shoot me a text, because I'm not on here too often.
Got it. Yeah, sure. That's something I recommend people do.
Yeah.
I don't recommend you do it like right away.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a person of like, because I know some people are worried about like, well, is this person like right? Is this person? I mean, how creepy or not creepy is this person? Especially women are really concerned about that, right? So I kind of recommend that you talk a little bit Especially if it's a guy talking to her, I'm like, well, maybe the girl doesn't really want to jump off this chat real quick. They don't know anything about me, and they don't want my phone number yet, and they don't want to give me their phone number,
Right.
Because
trust me, I've like shot that to many people, and they've just continued to message me on the app because they like want to make sure I'm not
right,
which is fine.
and that's the whole point of the chat. The chat is there to see if you're the real deal.
Yeah,
right,
absolutely.
So I recommend people talk for a little bit, maybe about 2 different topics. Just like ask them a question, ask them another question, talk about that for a second, and then say, hey, would you like to go on a date sometime? Here's my phone number. It's kind of a closer, really.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you gave me your phone number. It's up to me. Yeah, I don't care. It's my phone number.
Yeah.
You want to talk? And
I learned that from a friend of mine who is an online dating app fiend. He's a professional at it.
He's a professional. You get paid.
I mean, he's big into the hookup culture, though. He doesn't actually like try and look for a actual relationship. He's part of the hookup culture. But this dude hooks up with girls all the time. I mean, like 3 or 4 a week. Like he is constantly.
Wow.
I mean, his numbers. He's putting up great numbers. If that's like the thing that you're
3
into.
or 4 a week. That's cool.
Yeah, he's like.
I mean, I don't know what he was doing, but I was also able to go on 4 dates per week.
Really?
With people who did not want to hook up with me, and I didn't want to hook up with them.
Well, you've got a book. Like, you know this better than
I mean,
anybody.
I wrote it
you
out
are
after
the pro.
Right, but like I wrote a book like when I realized I'm like, oh, I think I have something here. I didn't like. I just kind of wrote a book, and I'm like, oh, this actually works. This makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So what is your book about?
It's called SwipeLove. Building quality relationships beyond the screen. It's about 3 things. First of all, figuring out your approach to dating. Take dating apps aside. Make sure you know why you want to date and what you want to get out of your dating experience.
That's good to like have the goal.
Yeah. I've had people, I have a story about a friend who was like started dating this guy, and I said, oh, like, okay, you're dating him. Do you like, so you're going to become like boyfriend, girlfriend soon? Like, you feeling it? She's like, well, I'm just going to see where it goes. I was like, what do you mean? Well, I just want to see where it goes. I'm like, all right. Well, sure. Like a couple weeks, month later, she comes over and she's like, you know what he did the other day? I'm like, oh, what? He asked me to be his boyfriend. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Either say yes or no.
Yeah, that's a question.
What do you want? She's like, well, I just want to see where it goes. I'm like, this is where it's going. Like, this is the direction it goes, or it stops.
That's the purpose.
Right. So you need to decide right now, or it might have been better to decide before, if you want to like not break his heart now. Right.
Yeah.
So know what you want, and then you can properly communicate that at some point, hopefully early on, and say, I just want to, I'm not ready for a boyfriend yet, but I'm willing to date you. And if you're okay with me working that out, we can do this, which is fair. You're letting her know the expectations and the intentions. It's fine. But that wasn't the best way to go. So figure out your approach to dating first.
I think that's part of my problem is that like, I don't really know what I want from it. I don't know if I want to just utilize it for hookup culture or if I actually want to genuinely try to find, cause I could do either.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't know which one I really want to
do at this point in your life.
Utilize it for, and also I don't have a ton of money, so I can't really afford to take girls out all the fucking
I've
time.
also developed strategies for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about. Okay, you got to the first point.
Yeah, I know.
Point one.
This is interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, figure out your approach and get that solid for yourself.
Okay.
Make sure you commit to it. Whatever it is, commit to it. Okay. Cool. We have a hard time. We're millennials. We're all whatever. People think we suck, and sometimes we do. So let's get responsible. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Responsible for our feelings and other people's feelings. Okay. Cool.
That's asking a lot of people.
That's
get responsible for our feelings and other people's feelings.
It was
easier said than done.
It was not a lot 30 years ago.
You're right. It wasn't.
It was not a lot.
Now
30 years ago.
My phone's recording me, but that right there is a lot to handle. This is a lot to handle.
Yeah, I mean, everyone had a job. Everyone went to work. Most people had decency and respect. I mean, everyone had a group of pigs in both groups, but it's fine. So just people want what they want. Just be respectful. So here we go. Approach to dating. Number 2. Now figure out your whole dating app feeling. And when I say this, what is the pace that you want to go at?
Okay.
Using dating apps, you can control the pace of your dating life.
Yeah, it's like driving a car. You get to choose what gear you want.
You get to, it's like a bike. Yeah, you switch gears. Oh, I'm going to come up a hill. Maybe I need to get some more. Maybe, I don't want to, okay, let's go down a hill. Okay, go, great. Exactly. You got it. When I'm saying that, this may come in conflict with people's idea of romanticism and fate. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And if it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, then that means you cannot control the pace, right? So you have to decide what you're believing here. And what I'm saying is with dating apps, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. Fate is not the truth. It's not the capital T truth. It's not the truth. And the reason that, here's the whole thing. Here's a moment of why that's the truth.
Tell me what the whole thing is, Lou.
So I'm kind of doing like the crash course here. So follow me. Just follow me.
Yeah, he's got a book. So read that. You'll get all the details. He's summarizing.
I'm doing the crash course here. We started like as Neanderthals. There's a little group of us.
I'm not too far off that still.
Yeah. I would say me neither. I think it's, we didn't get too far after Neanderthals, but we started out as Neanderthals, okay? Yeah. And it was a group of us, and we were trying to get together and procreate and populate. Okay, cool, great. Then we started getting to this whole thing of like arranged marriages. That's like the first thing people can think of as like some kind of setup, right? Okay, arranged marriages, which is great. People think, man, that's terrible. How could people even live like that? That's awful. There's a little bit of sexism in it because the woman is often bought out, right? Take that aside for a second. You're letting your family filter who you see for the rest of your life. And they give you like maybe 2, 3, 4 people to look at. But you can trust that they're high quality people. They're vetted by your family. They're vetted by this other family. Your families are friends somehow a little bit, right?
You're saying this in like the past tense of when this was the norm.
When this was the norm.
Okay.
When this was the norm, right? Okay. And then... So you don't have to do a lot of thinking. You don't have to worry about your gut. How do I feel about this person? You can kind of like trust. Well, I kind of value what my family values, and that these both the families value the same things, generally speaking. And that even if we don't work out, like we're probably going to work out because we have the family supporting us. We're right here. We're not leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. And then sometime we started America, and we were like independence, freedom. Freedom of choice. I think we should do that for relationships. And it sounds like, well, did America really start this? Kind of. There was courting around that time, but definitely in the 1920s is when dating started happening.
Wow, really? You think that's soon in culture?
No, yeah, it's actually this is a historical fact.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, women actually started the dating part of it. Like, I'm going to go out to a public place, and because before, a man would have to knock on a family's door and say, I would like to see your daughter.
I have 4 chickens for your daughter.
Not even yet. It's like before we're not doing the trading thing anymore, but courting was more similar to knock on the door. Hi, I'd like to see your daughter. And you can only go talk in the foyer with her for an hour, and then you kind of leave.
This reminds me of the movie Holes with Madam Zoo. What's her name?
I don't
Madam
know.
Z. I can't remember her last name, but
Zoo.
That's like how he got the curse, right?
Yeah,
they were like,
carry me up the hill so I can get
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Right. So that's what courting was, and then women wanted to kind of take control of that a little bit for themselves. And I'm going to go in public, and a guy's going to come up to me and say, hey, I'm attracted to you, in whatever way he says that. Mm-hmm. And she goes, yeah, well, you got to pay for this a little bit. You got to either buy me a drink. You got to...
4 chickens that they have.
We don't do chickens. I want money. That's what, but because I'm worth it, honey. And that's
give it to me. I'm worth. Now we see how that culturally works into our society.
So women... It's a little weird to say because the idea of women being bought, especially in the family arranging marriages, is like very sexist, right? It's like that.
Yeah, that's very straight white male of you. That's very cis white male of you to say, Lewis.
Except this was not done by only white males, so it doesn't matter. It's not exclusive.
Says one white male to the other.
That's fine. You go to India, they're still doing it. So.
Oh yeah, that's crazy,
right?
They just got to drive.
Yeah.
Did you?
They got to drive. I don't know this.
Yeah, they just
really?
finally like got like
People
in the
were
last
driving.
year, they finally passed a law saying that women can
women.
drive cars.
Oh, we'll see. Okay, so there you go. Women. I thought you meant like everyone. Like
Oh,
they finally
no.
like
The
everyone's
men
driving.
could.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, so you have that, and then we start with dating, and the whole point of dating is that you get to have your own choice, right? I get to be in charge of my own life fully, romantically speaking. I get to see who I want, when I want, for as long as I want to. And I get to decide. I get the final say. My parents don't have the final say. No one, only me has the final say, right? As long as it's kind of like between both of us, we both have the final say. But I have the final say, right? Okay. That sounds great. And then you realize you have no filters.
Yeah, you have so many options.
You have so many options. You have to decide every single moment if this is that. Oh, is that person worth it? 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 And then I gotta sell to you. I gotta sell me to you. I gotta sell me to you. I'm good. I'm good for it. I'm good for it. I'm good for it. I'm a good. I'm a loving person. I'm a loving.
He's a love machine.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Right? It's like anxiety immediately.
Yeah.
And it's stressful. You have to sit. You're advertising yourself all day, every day. This is why people don't want to do it. You're like, I am so sick and tired of doing this. It's just
I mean, there's a number of reasons.
I gotta be on, and
there's a number of reasons why I want to do it. Some of it's just like, I really feel like, especially dating in Los Angeles is not like dating anywhere else in the United States of America. Maybe New York, but dating in Los Angeles is even a lot more crazy than dating in New York, I would say. And it's just, I feel like I almost feel guilty that I'm not in a position to like take a beautiful girl out and just give her everything that she wants. Because for every date that she goes on where a guy isn't doing that, she could be going on one where a guy is doing that. Because there's so much money out here and there's so many different guys, and she's a beautiful girl. She could literally get anybody that she wants. Like, there is no shortage of guys with money who want to give her things, and I cannot. And so I'm like, I almost feel like I shouldn't fuck with any of this until I'm like I'm not struggling financially, I would say, like dying, but like I don't have the money to go out and drop like $60 on like let's say $60 on dinner, and then like go to the bar and drop $60 and go to a movie and drop $20, and like $200 later she says goodnight and it was nice to meet you, and that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Why? I gotta be honest here. Like, why would you go out with that kind of person who expects all of that from you?
Well, none of them would ever say that they expect that of you, right? But it's like,
so don't give it to them.
Yeah, but she ain't gonna keep them long.
What if she stays?
She stays, then she's obvious. Any girl who stays with me is obviously an idiot, and I don't want to date an idiot.
You have a lot of confidence in the front of you, but in deep down, you don't have confidence. Look at that. Wow.
Isn't that so? That's like the catch-22, right? It's like,
you should have confidence in yourself. You're a good guy.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
So what I'm saying is, we did the whole dating thing to have complete control. And then we realized we actually have zero control at all.
Yeah.
Then we started doing this whole narrative of fate. Why did we have dating and now we're talking about fate? I thought we had control. What the heck is this? What are we doing? Throwing in the towel? We just got it.
Yeah.
It's like 40 years. We got it. And now, fate. Fate ever since the 60s, fate.
Yeah.
Even more than, Hollywood and romanticism and all that stuff. Okay, so part 2, dating apps. I allow you to figure out what pace you want to go at, because actually you can control the pace of your dating life. Do you want to go on 1 date a month, 1 date a week, 2 dates a month? What do you want? I said I can go on 4 dates a week. Yeah. And I'm not hooking up with these people.
Yeah.
And these are quality women. These are not like weird, creepy people. I never met a weird, creepy person the time I was doing this.
Really?
I'm serious.
How?
Because I'm just being authentic.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I'm looking for authenticity. We're humans. The best detector I have for someone for finding trust is a human. Mm-hmm. A human can tell you who you should trust and who you shouldn't. At the end of the day, and I'm not talking like the big politicians and on TVs and stuff like that. I'm talking like just like interactions, small town. You know who you can trust. You can walk down the street and be like, you can trust that person. I don't know if I trust that person. I'm not
You're saying intuitively?
Intuitively, we can trust. We know what trust is.
We know whom we can trust.
And we know what trust is. We know what trust looks like. And then from there we can see incrementally on dates, we can keep trusting this person. Even in photos on a dating app, you know who's trying to really sell you something and who's just actually trying to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And not trying to be like themselves, but like trying to just, I'm here. And if you want to hang out, we can hang out. And they put it in their photos, they put it in their descriptions, and they just exemplify who they are. Mm-hmm. And those are the people I looked for. And I also had to be attracted to them.
This is who I swipe left on. I swipe left on any girl who has a Snapchat filter on one of their photos. It's immediate left swipe. If you have the Snapchat big eyes with the bunny or the dog, I'm fucking left swiping. I don't care anything else. Like,
there's a lot of women who do that too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's the point. I don't understand. This is a personal thing with me. People, especially with the women who have the dog, they don't do the dog as much now, but there's a lot of it out there.
But there's like a lot of like the big, like, it's like this pink filter where the eyes get bigger. It's like the face down here gets smaller.
They're not. It's all about them.
Yeah, it's all about them. And that's why I swipe left on them, because they're like definitely going to be all about
I never knew a guy who was like, oh, the dog filter, that sold me. That's the problem, right? So why do you have a dog filter? It's for you. And that's fine. If you want to do it for you, that's fine. Just letting you know, people see that and we know intuitively. You didn't know, like I said it and you laughed because you're like, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
But we know it's about you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You can be about you. Just don't expect to get the matches that you want sometimes.
And some guys love it.
Some guys like it. They're like, okay, it's all about you. Fine. Just know that's the message you're putting out when you do that. Which is, it's like, it's a Snapchat filter. What are you talking about? That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. So now, okay. Do you want a woman who is superficial?
No.
You don't?
No.
Not at all.
I want her to like look nice at events. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who knows how to a lady in the street but a freak in the bed. I said, yay! You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do you want her to have superficial tastes? Have superficial tastes in men?
How do you mean?
Like, I only want a guy who looks good. It doesn't matter what his personality is.
No, I don't want that.
You don't want that?
To me, I would say it's probably 60 or 70% looks and then like 30 to 40% personality. Like,
that's
at
what
a certain
you want in a
point,
woman or you want in a guy?
I wanted a girl.
You wanted a girl. Okay.
I wanted a girl. And I know you weren't talking about that.
Yeah, I meant the girl and a guy.
The girl and the guy. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. So, what's with the abs in your photos?
Have you looked at my thing?
I haven't. You said that you have that you take photos of your abs.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's only encouraging superficial women.
No, I would like to think that for me, it's somewhat about looks. If I'm not attracted to you at all, sorry, it doesn't matter how great of a personality you have. We're not going to be compatible. Mm-hmm. There is some level of physicality to it. Mm-hmm. It's not a douchey thing. It's just a realistic thing. Sure. I have to physically be attracted to you through evolution and, mating qualities or whatever the fuck it is. And I have to actually want to be with you. And so this is what I look like. I'm fit and I'm active, and I want somebody who's also fit and active.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if a girl's like, okay, good, he works out, so he gives a shit about his body, so he probably has more responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm not like posing in these photos like it's like a picture of me in my bathing suit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so it's not like
Sounds fair.
being super.
I haven't seen your profile. Maybe if you pull up your phone, I could look at it.
I would, but it's recording my face.
Yeah.
Maybe later we could.
Sorry. Yeah.
Unless you could pull it up online, but I don't think you can pull up a Tinder profile online.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, stalk it.
If you go on Tinder.com,
yeah,
they have here. I mean, you can go on Tinder.com.
Yeah. Let me see.
And then just like log yourself in. So that's part two. I'm gonna explain this well. So that's part two. Part two is just you can control the pace of your dating life. Part three is me explaining how to be a good date in person. And if you're new to this, maybe there's a lot of people who are hit their 20s and they actually haven't been on any dates, right? But so that might be for that person, but also for people who may not have thought of everything when they go on a date in person. They might, like I talk about stuff like, how do you greet a person? Have you thought about how you're going to greet a person?
Physically or
like,
first
when
message?
You're in person, well, that too. But like the third part is when you're in person with somebody, How do you do a first date? How do you do a second date? How do you do a third date? How do you break up if you don't want to keep connecting with them anymore? Right? How do you keep the conversation going over text or over the phone after the first date's over successfully without seeming weird or, creepy or needy? Like, what do you do to just kind of keep it flowing and keep it casual and keep it authentic? Because people get really neurotic about these tiny little decisions that we have to do every day. I said goodbye to you on the first date, and then I'm sitting here going like, when should I text? 24 hours? Okay, but are they counting out the hours? What do I do? Okay, no, what should I say? Okay, I can't say that because then they're gonna like wonder like what I'm thinking, and they're gonna think, well, I made the first move, and now I'm looking needy, and I don't want them. I want a second date, but I want to get to the second date. But if I ask for like how they're doing, like we just get so in our heads all the time, especially with this texting stuff. So I just kind of explain simple, basic structures, not rules, just structures of like, here's how you do this. This should keep the thing flowing. You don't have to think about it. I've already given you the best decision you should probably make. Like when you leave the first date, ask them, because you should do this anyways, by the way. Serve your date, not yourself. This is my huge thing. Serve your date, not yourself. Stop thinking about you. Make sure they're having a great time. And likely you're going to have a great time too. If you don't, fine, but you can always feel good in your heart. Well, I did the best I can do with this person. Yeah. And they didn't give it to me. That's fine. And I don't have to see this person ever again. And maybe you can leave in 10 minutes if you realize they're being a big rampage and it's a problem. Okay, bye. But serve your date, not yourself.
Okay, bye.
Here's something you can do. Here's something you can think about. When you leave your first date, send them a text. Say, hey, let me know when you get home. You should do this anyways.
Yeah.
Because you want them to feel safe. You want to be a good person. You want to serve your date, right? Yeah. Do this because you're being genuine and authentic about it. This is what I'm doing. They'll let you know when they're home, unless they don't want to go on a second date. They won't talk to you, right?
Well, they'll probably still say got home safe and then just never text you again.
And they might ghost you right there if they don't like you. They don't have to do.
They could
do whatever they want. So if they don't send you a message, you know they don't want to go on a second date. You already know. You don't even have to ask. You don't have to figure it out. Boom, you know. Okay, then they didn't message me back. Maybe I'll send, hey, you okay? If they don't message you back, you're done. You got it. You know. If they're not responding, you know. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. But if they do send you a message like, hey, I got home. Hey, cool. Hey, I had a really great time with you. You can start talking. You can
keep stroking that fire.
There you go. Because you said, hey, let me know when you get home. They got to send a message back, kind of, right? If they want to be genuine, they want to keep they want to keep the relationship going too. And now you didn't have to worry about trying to start a thing again.
Yeah,
it's still going. So, you got your Tinder profile up here?
Yeah, I do.
That's awesome. We can be really careful here, but I'd love to take a look at it.
This is the part where Lewis roasts my dating profile app on Tinder.
I'll do it. I'll do it gently.
I wish I could just send this to you. Fuck.
You can let me know. You want me to be honest or brutally honest? Right here.
Go ahead and look at it. I'm gonna grab a drink. Do you want anything?
I have water that I have not had a sip of yet.
Do you want anything else?
No, I'm good.
A beer or I'm gonna have like a cocktail real quick.
Okay.
In the middle of my coffee.
Oh wow, puppy.
Yeah, there's a puppy. I love dogs. So I mean.
Cool. This is great. I love your San Francisco photo. This is also part of my. This is part of my. What you should do with your photos. First of all, don't try to look cool. I always say don't try to look cool because you're not as cool as you really think you are. But be authentic. This is and the best way to be authentic is what? A candid photo. You got a candid photo. I can already feel like I can if you have a candid photo, and this is what Chad already has here on his first photo. I can already feel like I'm kind of like coming into your world and seeing who you are. Oh, you got a nice little laugh, little smile. Oh, I like a smile. Like I can see you being genuine. You're not posing. Don't pose for the first photo. You got a nice. You pose for a second photo. But it's a nice smile. And then there's your swimming trunks photo. You're hanging out on the beach. And then you got a puppy. And then I also like to read people because actually a lot of action goes down in what your description is. Can I read it out loud? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on 1 sec. All right, that's over. Go.
Chad writes, I'm a Scorpio. I'm super silly and goofy, love working out, funny, very kind and loving, looking for someone who wants to eat food, talk, intelligent, have a drink, talk about bucket lists, heart emoji, heart face emoji. Not into girls who send nudes, but very into girls who send me pictures of their dog.
Very true.
Hit me up at IG. Great. And then you have your Spotify connected as well. Great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, your phone's asleep.
Oh,
it's
wow,
not recording.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want to? It's asleep.
It went asleep. We're gonna check this out.
Yeah, just keep going. It's fine. Technical difficulty. I just got up and grabbed a drink, so. Did it record any of it?
I'm sure it recorded something.
Oh, that's good. Listen, Kate, I normally do this with Kate, and her phone is like, I don't know, it's like an
I recorded 31:48, so I don't know how long we were going, but
I could look, but a little bit longer. But just hit record again.
Yeah, here we go. Jeez.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I'll get up and I'll check it in a little bit too. This is why I have the 3 camera setup, because Kate's phone cuts out all the time. It'll like stop recording. So that's why I have the GoPro and I have my phone, because these two will just keep going. Sometimes the GoPro dies, but that's just a battery problem. And then I have another battery right here.
Cool. Well, it's recording now.
Okay, good.
So we got 31:48.
Oh, and then we're picking back up. So
Cool. We got more photos. That's you. That's your like your headshot photo. That's cool. That's an authentic photo.
Yeah.
You're sitting there with your sunglasses in your hands, and then you're like in a swing chair. And then
yeah, because like I do want somebody who's like authentic. Like I want somebody who's
pretty authentic,
physically attractive, at least to me, to an extent. Like you can't just be hot. You have to be hot and like that sounds so fucking Chad douche. Oh my god. You have to be somewhat physical. I have to be physically attracted to you, and you also have to be funny, and you have to be smart.
Yeah.
You can't be dull and smart. Like you have to have I have a super fucked up sense of humor, and I need somebody who is going to laugh at it, and somebody who also has a fucked up sense of humor and who's going to make me laugh. Like I'm not going to bring negativity into my life,
right?
And so those are the photos that I thought would best be like, listen, I'm mostly normal, pretty, like I work out. Just be cool. Let's hang out.
You say, yeah, it says you, well, none of these actually show that you like work out.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, because I feel like my name's Chad. Like, you don't need to know any. You don't need a picture of me lifting.
Track running kind of photo where you're sitting on a bench. Like that tells you you work out, you're being active, but it's really chill, right? That's great. Same thing over here when you're in front of the church. We were in the same kind of outfit, which is good. And then I know you're an actor, but you're not really like trying to like tell me you're an actor. You didn't tell me you're an actor at all. You just kind of show me your headshot. It's like, okay, so that's what he does.
Yeah.
That might be, and I don't know how often he's doing that. Like, so it's fine. I have 2 suggestions.
Yeah, let's hear them.
That's it. First suggestion would actually be for your written description.
Okay.
I feel when most people just write lists of just like stuff they want, but my rule for your description is really be constantly inviting. Just be constantly inviting. How do I be inviting? Well, I need to play a little game with you. Let's be playful. So one of the games I always recommend is 2 truths and a lie. This starts up a lot of conversations immediately.
Yeah.
Make sure they're interesting facts enough, something that people really want to ask about.
Right.
So like mine would be, I've been to 26 states, as well as Australia and Europe. I wear brown Converse shoes exclusively.
That one's true.
And I had a cardboard cutout of myself. And then people want to send me I'll match with whoever. And then
I don't know which one of those is not true. I feel like you at some point you definitely had a cardboard cutout of yourself. I've definitely seen that.
That's great.
So you haven't been to 26 states.
You're right.
Okay.
See, but without even like you had to figure it out, didn't you? You had to interrupt this and you had to figure it out.
I had to be like, okay, hang on a fucking second. I know
There's a problem here and you want to solve it. You need to match with me and get this question answered. Look, I didn't even do anything. Yeah. That was not a manipulation.
I'm half-mast right now just playing that game.
I'm flattered. But look, so it just started a conversation. Look how easy that started a conversation with you.
Yeah, it was easy.
Right. So they'll match with you. I've had plenty of people. They always want it. They often more want it. Like, okay, you gotta tell me it's a cardboard cutout. You have a please tell me you have a cardboard cutout. Please tell me you have a cardboard cutout. I do have a cardboard.
He does
cutout.
have the cardboard cutout. That is a
so then people. Or sometimes I'll say like I've read 7 books this year already, and then people will be like, oh well, you haven't read 7 books. So I'll be like, you're right. I read 9. And
ooh.
Right. And so it's not like you're like I gotcha. Like I'm way smarter than you think I am. But it's like I actually it's like I still read. I'm still reading. You know.
How do you read?
I crack open a book. I sit there, have a scheduled time, like, you know, right before bed.
That's it.
Yeah.
Scheduled time. That's got to be it. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos today. And they were all about how to fix your sleep schedule because I am not a morning person. I have never been a morning person, but I want to be. Like, there are days where I have waken, bacon. I
have awakened.
I have woken up. Is that the right?
I woke up.
Tense?
I woke up.
This is previous.
When I have woken up.
There are times that I woke up at like 6, 5 in the morning. The amount of shit that I accomplish is like, I fucking didn't do this much shit last week. And I'm like this, and I feel good.
Yeah.
But it's always like, it sucks so much to get going.
Yeah.
And it's always very dependent on, like, sometimes I could force myself to get up.
Totally.
But I would feel like shit all day because I didn't have enough sleep.
Sure.
And like, my body, I don't know why, it naturally is its most awake at 1 or 2 in the morning. It's impossible for me to shut my mind off, no matter how long of a day I've had.
I mean, I'm similar.
Really?
I have a creative. I have a creative, like, energizing stint from 9 p.m. to 4 in the morning. That's like when my best, like, I can, like, in writing the book, I would write 20 minutes a day while I'm on the train just to kind of like get it out. But when I had to like revise, and
that's really romantic right there.
Thanks.
I'd write my novel for 20 minutes on the train.
We have to have a system.
Yeah.
I do this every day. It's a Scott Adams rule. The guy who wrote Dilbert, who writes Dilbert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. System versus goals, which is also what my dating app stuff is about. I mean, I literally quote Scott Adams in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Systems versus goals. A goal is, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And every day you have not lost 10 pounds from then on out, didn't make it. Especially like after like first week, you're like, no pounds lost. Maybe I'm looking for something. I'm looking for evidence. Nothing. You're miserable. And you probably know this. You work out a lot. You know what to do, right? Mm-hmm. So, but a system is, I'm going to work out every day and eat right. And over time, only good things can happen. Yeah. That's it. Same thing. So same thing with waking up, same thing with scheduling something, same thing with writing a book, same thing with your dating life. I'm going to go out on dates with people until I find the person that I think I'm going to settle down with or keep staying with, right? Whatever.
Maybe that's like part of the other reason why I just haven't really gotten on this dating app train, because I'm on them and I go on them sometimes and I do, like, I'm texting people right now that I met on the dating app, just kind of like talking to them, but I don't necessarily if I really want to even date right now. Like, I feel like that's even part of the problem.
Well,
like, as far as my clear goal goes, there is no clear goal. Like, I don't even know if I want to date anybody right now.
I think I know what you mean.
What?
I think I know what you mean and what you feel. Dating is an infinite game.
Yeah.
Like, you have to keep dating forever once you date somebody.
Yeah.
It's when you marry your wife.
Yeah. You got to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I just want to, like, just take all of my time and all of my money and all of my energy and just focus it on me and then let fate do it. At some point, somebody may come along. Maybe. And if not, maybe they won't. And I don't feel like sexually ravenous where I'm like, Jesus, if I don't get this thing wet right now, I'm gonna fucking explode. Some guys are like that, man. Some guys are. And so I'm like, I don't know if that's a problem or if that's actually like, that's great that I don't, like, I can just focus on me right now. I'm not distracted by my other head.
That's probably okay.
It's probably okay.
That's probably okay.
It's probably okay.
It's probably okay. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm gonna say it's probably okay.
Yeah, it's probably all right. It's actually probably it's probably better.
You're worried about the money thing, right?
The money thing is
like spending money on dates. Like, how do I budget for that, or how do I like make sure I keep that as low as possible?
Yeah, I know, but then it's like there's so many free things that you can do in LA. Like, but it's just
but then you got to make decisions on. You got to make sure you have that for the right day, for the right time. I got you.
Let's hear it.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
This also takes an hour, 60 minutes, and then you're done for as long as you want to be done. Maybe switch over every year, but that's it. Go on Google, search free. If you live in LA, this works best for big cities, but I'm sure you can do it in other smaller towns as well. The smaller the town, the less likely it is able to be done, but you understand. Best in big cities. We live in LA. Go on Google, search free events to do in LA.
Even if you do live in a small city, if it's like 50,000 people or around that, like I guarantee there's a Facebook group. There's someone in your area has started a Facebook group for the events that are going on in the city.
Yeah.
Your local government, I guarantee there's some like 45-year-old mom who thinks the young people need to get together and she started something.
There is. That's a
board.
Thing.
There's some, I guarantee it.
Right.
Keep going.
Right. Okay. So you say free events in LA for Sunday. And then you do this for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday. And you decide, like, so whatever your schedule is, I don't know what your schedule is going to be, but say you decide, well, I work from 9 to 5. So I'm going to do from anything that works from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., right? Cool. And then you find all the free or affordable deals that you can do. Mm-hmm. Look for a couple restaurants and make sure you kind of have like 2 things for each night. So you keep variety for yourself, but you also keep variety for somebody else. Mm-hmm. Cool. This is a great strategy, great system. And you do all the decision making beforehand. So think of museums, think of like a concert club area, think of like a comedy club, something different.
I fucking love going to comedy clubs.
Right? See?
The thing that's weird about that though is that, especially if it's a first date, I don't want to go have the first thing that we do be something where we're not talking.
Okay, don't do it for a first date.
So like a movie, like I don't want to meet up with somebody to go and see a movie because I don't fucking know you at all.
Yeah, no.
Battery change on the GoPro. I don't know who they are.
Right.
So you keep talking.
Well, see,
you're really pondering that thought.
Yeah. See, the whole idea is you can use this when you need to. So if you feel more comfortable, as I feel most people probably are, with talking with someone over a drink or a coffee or something much more familiar and more escapable in the beginning, you probably should go do that. That's probably the best option for you. You want to make sure that a first date is very easygoing on price, on escapability, on familiarity, and just on yourself. Because this is low risk, and everyone understands that. And we act like this is like this classic charade that you're supposed to be doing this whole time, and it is. But there's a reason for that. Oh, I have to do this job interview thing. Yeah, well, that's like the little thing we have to do. So just make it for 30 minutes or an hour, and do that. And for people who don't like to do this whole job interview thing with the first date, here's another solution for that. Have a location A and a location B for your first date. So make sure you pick a coffee, like say you're doing a coffee shop, pick a coffee shop, but make sure there's like a little park around nearby.
Yeah. And
it's in a safe area, well lit. Like make sure it's just as escapable as the coffee shop that you were in. And make sure there's a lot of people around, just so everyone feels comfortable. So you go location A coffee, you sit there for a half hour, 45 minutes. And if you still want to keep
break out the chloroform, baby.
No, I will never. I have to say no.
Well, okay, Liz Stone, no fun, everybody.
But I appreciate the joke. So you go location A, there for 45 minutes. You can only learn so much about a person from sitting down and just staring at them and talking to them about their family and their job, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
And then, but once they say, hey, you want to get up and like walk around a little bit, just like around the area, and they're like, if they want to do that, okay. If they don't, well, okay, fine. But people usually want to stretch their legs, and if it's in a comfortable area and they know it's a comfortable area because they walk to the coffee shop, they'll know. There you go. Walk around the park, and then you can learn so much from a person just by like, how they walk, how they carry themselves. You'll see a lot more stuff for fodder for topics. Like, oh, look at all these trees. Look at like this like little park area. Look at, all these flowers are beautiful. Like, you start to learn a lot more stuff about it. And so the first date becomes not a job interview.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It seems like I don't know.
It sounds so easy.
It sounds so easy. Okay, it sounds so easy because it is. You just have to make all the decisions prior. You make all the decisions prior. Do you like making decisions, or do you have a hard time making decisions?
I do have a hard time making decisions sometimes.
Yeah, and this is what the book is for. Because I like making decisions, and I especially like having decisions like made. Like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. And once you start getting kind of a routine, you start to have fun. You don't have to think about anything anymore. You just don't have to be like, I'm gonna go to coffee. I'm gonna meet this person. I'm gonna hear him out. Hey, how you doing? You good? Okay. Yeah, having a great day. How's your job? Okay, cool. Hey, you want to go like for a walk? I wonder how many women meet a guy who wants to meet them for coffee first of all, and then it's like, you want to go for a walk? It's a nice day out.
Yeah, it's a panty dropper right there.
Maybe like in the mind, right? Because it's like, wow, like this guy, like, because I've taken care of everything. Yeah. And I'm not worried. Yeah. I'm just concerned about you. I'm just focused on you. I got this all set up for you. Yeah. And it wasn't even a big deal, and I'm not making a big deal about it. Like, that's what's great. Yeah. This guy cares. And this guy cares for every person he comes in contact with. Yeah. Being a gentleman. I gotta wear a suit.
Love taking, like, I don't want to say I love taking care of women, but I do like showing them a good time. Right. You know what I'm saying? I do like planning things. Mm-hmm. And even like surprise. Like, I love, especially if I'm like seeing someone, love surprising them. I love planning a thing, and then all of a sudden they just have like no clue, and they're like, what? And I'm like, surprise, I got this whole fucking day planned. I lied to you about a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great line.
And you see them just like, it's a joke. With glee all day.
With glee all day.
I don't got to worry about it.
And I love going. I love going and doing a thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like bowling or darts.
Wouldn't it be hysterical if we all went bowling?
What? Shit's real.
Yeah. Jim Gaffigan, I love you.
Yeah, I do love Jim. That's definitely good advice. Okay, wait. So you said don't list things on this dating profile. Yeah. What?
So a list is just a list. It's all your what's, and it's all about, it's another thing where it's kind of like it's all about you. Like, that's you. But what am I supposed to do here? I don't really get a picture of you. I just see a bunch of adjectives. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so
two truths and a lie.
So 2 truths and a lie is a game. If you don't want to do a game per se, you can still do something like, instead of saying like, I like to work out, or I like to exercise, or even say like, I like to hike. People will do that. You can say, me and my roommate went on, like, I have a roommate. So me and my roommate went on this hike to B Rock the other day, and it was amazing. Like, and me and my roommate always love to go on hikes and try to find new trails. Like, that's a picture, right? It tells me a lot about you. First of all, I know you like to work out and you like to exercise. Oh, but you have a roommate. Oh, you get along with your roommate. That's good. Some people don't get along with a roommate. That tells me a lot, right? Okay, cool. Now, of course, I got to trust that you're not lying to me about this and you have a roommate. But, just be honest, okay? Everyone just be honest, all right? Yeah. Jeez. So, okay. But, and now, you like to go on hikes. Oh, you like to explore. Oh, you like to try new things. I just learned a bunch of stuff and you didn't tell me. I could have listed all that out for you and it would mean nothing to you. Yeah. I tell you, I go on hikes with my roommates and we try a new trail every time. Boom.
Yeah. So what you're saying, put that in the profile?
Put that in the profile. Give me a picture. I want to know.
Put that in the profile.
Put that in your profile.
Put that in your profile.
Hashtag put that in your profile.
Put it. Hashtag shit and swipe. Hashtag put that in your profile.
There you go. Hashtag serve your date, not yourself.
Yeah, that's so important.
And hashtag SwipeLove. Available on pre-order. Not yet.
I just enjoy hospitality a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, I had somebody come over here. I had a friend of mine, a Tinder fiend. His name's Brian. I love him. I'm going to have him on soon. He couldn't do it last weekend. What?
Don't I know Brian?
Brian McCusker?
Yeah.
Oh, did you meet him at the acting class? Was he there that night? Or do you know him from something else?
Isn't he from university?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, you know him? Yeah, he lives up in Santa Clarita. Or
Oh.
Castaic.
That's cool.
Yeah. I hang out with him not too often, but from time to time. I wish I could see him more, but he was all the way in Castaic. It's far. So he was over here, and his roommate was over, and I had just met him. And I was just like, yeah, man, anything you want. I was like, you want a beer? And he was like, yeah. And so I gave him a beer, and I was like, you want some pot? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, here you go, here's some pot. And he's like, dude, this is great, man. You like, got such great hospitality. And he said that to me, and I just got so high on that. I was like, yeah, man, mi casa, su casa. Like, come here. Anything that you want is yours. Anything I have is yours. Like, and that's something that I've been trying to do more of.
Yeah.
Everything's just a thing. It's all just stuff. Just give it away. If you have something, maybe it's important to you, but maybe it'll be more important to somebody else. Give it to someone else, you know?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much you get for that.
You get a lot.
The feeling that you get is like, it's such a good feeling.
Feeling is great. And then those people feel like they can trust you. And they realize that you're smart and you take time to think about things and enough that you can like have stuff readily available to them. Yeah. So, it's great. Yeah, I'm for dating apps. I've done, and the thing about like dating apps, again, you can control the pace of your dating life, but also like you never know when you might go on a date. I once woke up on a Saturday, went on Bumble, swiped for a second, found a person, started talking to her. Hey, what's up? Hey, you says like you like to hike. You want to go on a hike right now? It was 9:30 in the morning. She said, like, okay. I'm like, yeah, we can go to this place I like. It's over in Pasadena. She's like, I'm like, have you been there? She's like, no, I've never been there. I'm like, it's really great. Like, it's really open. A lot of people like to try, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. I'm like, I'll see you there at like 10:30. She's like, yeah.
It was just like that.
It was just like that. And now I also had like, you know, I try to talk about like what you should do in the chat to like, again, make people feel comfortable and how to get through the whole routine pretty quickly. And still be authentic and be kind.
Yeah, I try to include whenever I've tried to plan a lot of dates. Actually, lied. I've been on 2 from a dating app. I forgot about the other one.
Okay, you went on 2, and
I went on 2.
That's about the average of 1 a month.
Yeah, right. So I always try to incorporate something I like already love doing, so I can kind of like knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, you know?
Right. Yeah, totally.
So
do
one
stuff
thing,
you should like.
this one's one of my favorite things to do, especially if I can get it to work out on a date. Okay. I like to go hiking.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is I live half a mile from the East Valley Animal Shelter, and I love to grab a dog that's up for adoption and take it on the hike with me, so it just gets out and gets some exercise, you know.
That's really cool.
You'd be like astounded by how fast these dogs get adopted. 48 to 72 hours after I take them on a hike, they're gone. I never get the same dog twice. Wow. It's very rare, unless they have like a personality thing or they have some sort of condition where they're just like too aggressive or too mean. Yeah, if they're just a normal dog and I get them and I go on a hike with them, oh man, I've had such great experiences. Yeah. Do that.
Where is this?
East Valley Animal Shelter. It's a half mile. It's right over here on like Van Nuys and Van Owen.
East Valley Animal Shelter in Van Nuys, and there's a hike nearby. Great.
Absolutely. And like I lay a towel on my car.
Everyone in LA, there's a date. There's a great date.
And I mean, there's animal shelters all over. Listen, if you're not volunteering at your animal shelters, I went to the orientation. They train you on how to have a dog on a leash. It's easy as shit. Yeah. And then there's no requirement outside of 6 hours a month. Only requirement to be a volunteer. You can just go 3 times a month and play with dogs for 2 hours.
That's so much fun.
Do you have any idea how much fun that is?
I can only imagine.
I think I'm gonna start like, you know, I just started my YouTube channel, just started my podcast. I'm starting all these fucking things.
Thanks for bringing me on here. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm so happy. You're actually the first person who's not Kate that I've had on, so that's awesome.
I'm honored. Thanks for being so inviting. Thanks for serving me.
I'm glad you responded to my tweet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known any of these fucking things that you were on, because I wasn't even following you on Instagram. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't even following you until you responded to my Pete Davidson tweet that I put out. And And you're like, it's probably because he's a good guy. And then I like went on your profile. I was like, Lewis is doing a whole fucking array of dating app shit. I was like, this is fascinating. I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he'd be on my podcast. I'm so happy. And then we reconnected. It's great.
It's great, man.
But yeah, volunteer your animal shelter. I did like 2 or 3 hour orientation and then like a few trainings, and I can just play with dogs whenever I want to. And I want a dog really badly, but I'm 26. And I'm single, and I don't have a mortgage, and I don't have kids, and I want to travel.
Yeah. Well, there you
it's
go.
It's just a matter of like, you know what? I can get a dog at any point. And once I have a dog, it's like having a kid.
Yeah.
It's hard to just up and leave whenever you want.
Yeah.
And it's like now is a great time for me to get out and go see Colombia, go see Thailand, go see Brazil, go see places.
You should do. What was the last place you went to?
Sweden. Well, no, I guess the last place I went to was Kentucky 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I mean, I've traveled all, like I got that job with Google I mentioned. We went to San Francisco. We did a tour here in LA. We did Austin, Atlanta, and Miami.
Wow.
And I had never really spent any time in Atlanta. I had passed through a few times. Never been to Austin. Never been to Miami. And so that was just, I mean, I was working a ton while I was there, but I had a really good time. I had some brisket in Austin.
I had some brisket in Austin.
Fuck yeah. That Austin brisket was the bomb.com, dude. You ever been to Austin?
I've never been to Austin. I've been to Texas, but I've never been in Austin. But I can imagine any Texas brisket.
What's your favorite U.S. city?
My favorite U.S. city. Okay, got it. I
have heard the question. I am analyzing the answer currently.
I am analyzing it. This is going to take... We are loading it.
What's this, dial-up? Come on.
Oh, man. You know, I don't care. I'm from the south suburbs of Chicago. I love Chicago. I love the people. I love that you can just yell stuff at people, and they'll yell right back at you, and they'll be like, I'm like, hey, you having a good day? And they're like, yeah, I'm having a good day. Get out of my, get out of here, And, man, it looks like you're working hard. Yeah, I'm working hard. This guy sucks, It's like workers on the street, and then you can go to like places like Edebevix, or you can go to Wiener Circle, and then they're just gonna insult you the whole time, and it's like, that's why I came.
What is Wiener Circle?
It's like a hot dog joint, but
it's like Wiener Schnitzel, but a circle.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
But like people like treat you like crap on purpose.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like everybody's a soup Nazi.
Yeah.
Except they're the Wiener Nazi.
You give them crap.
Ugh, I don't know if I should say that out loud. They're the Wiener Nazi.
You should, I think it's fine. Just, I think we're overusing that word, and I don't think we're using it on the correct people. I think.
You know what word I think we're overusing too much now is war.
I think
it's a war on women. It's a war on antibiotics. It's a war on autism. It's a war on this, a war on that.
True.
You fucking know what a war is?
It's a last resort. That's what it is.
It's a last resort, all in balls deep. People are dying. You are giving 110. It's not a war, people. It might be a battle.
It might be a battle. Right.
It might be a battle.
Yeah. Well, we have not decided yet that we're going to die on whatever hill this is.
Yeah. I just hate that everybody uses the word war.
We like to get really hyperbolic in this country lately.
It's a matter of
And it really gets rid of the nuances.
It's a matter of being sexy. And what's sexy? Sure. A war is sexy. And the idea of a war is sexy. All in, balls deep. Everybody is in conflict all the time.
People are going to come back.
They're going to not be the same as when they came in.
Boom.
There's going to be a baby boom. Yeah. And like, there's so many things. I mean, like, you don't hear anything about Black Lives Matter because it was sexy. And now we heard about it so much. You don't hear about police brutality. Do you think police brutality against black people has stopped? No, it just stopped being sexy, so the media stopped talking about it. So what's sexy now
Why was
it
sexy in the first place, do you think?
Donald Trump.
Right.
I think the election.
And then the election, and then after that, it just went away.
Yeah.
What happened?
It stopped. Well, everybody heard it so much they became desensitized to it.
I thought we were really concerned about Black Lives. And then the media just dropped it.
Yeah.
I guess we're not actually in the media concerned about
Well, we
Black
are.
Lives.
It's just
We
used to be You know what used to be sexy? The Ukraine Peninsula used to be sexy, Lewis. Everybody was all about what's going on in the Ukraine Peninsula. Russia's invading. What the hell's going on over there? And everybody was like, who the fuck gives a shit about the Ukraine Peninsula? Nobody cares about
How do you
Syria.
spell Ukraine Peninsula? Too many consonants shoved together. I can spell it, don't worry.
It was very Noam Chomsky.
Thanks.
Nice linguistic humor.
It's very manipulative.
It is.
Isn't it?
It's such an interesting... Everything that's going on right now has got me just so confused. It's
Did
got
you hear
me
about
so...
Nancy Pelosi today?
Why? What
She
she
wants
say?
16-year-olds to be able to vote.
Okay. We need to change the voting age to 25.
Give some more time for
Yeah!
people to like really think through some stuff.
Fuck, dude. Oh my gosh. The fact that people are allowed to vote before their brain is fully matured is ridiculous. Like
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I think that that 25 needs to be the new age for a lot of things that are the current age is 18. To be able to vote, to be like a legal adult. Like I understand that's like homie, you're like 22 years old. You're a legal ass adult
at like 16.
Maybe not that, but like your brain hasn't fully matured until the age of 25.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't talk about that enough.
No, they don't.
And
It's true.
lowering the voting age to 16, man, she's really trying to get that 2020 election to go blue, isn't she?
And then interesting. I mean, you can hide behind a veil with illegal immigrants and call it racism. Like if you don't agree, okay. You can also call it racism for black voter suppression. Because black people may not have you may not have a standard state ID, which I think is very insulting to black people. I think black people are certainly smart enough to go get their ID.
Yeah,
I don't know a black person that I know that doesn't.
Yeah,
I've never met a black person that I know that can't find a voter ID. I'm sure you can just go up and just do an
I mean,
interview.
there's ill-educated people of every race.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. If they can't get it, it's fine. Right? Okay. And now we're going for 16-year-olds. To be able to vote, like what? And if I disagree with that, what are you gonna tell me?
If I have a 16-year-old someday, I don't even know if I'm gonna be okay with him driving yet. Let alone voting
every
for the
parent.
leader of the free fucking world.
Right. Well, free for now.
I think we gotta also can this electoral college thing.
This
Has gotta go.
Really?
Yes. One person, one vote. I feel like that is the way that democracy should work. You shouldn't give heavier voting. They're basically saying that
states?
people in rural areas have a better understanding of the way that the world should work.
No.
They're giving the people in the rural areas more weight because they're in rural areas. Because if you just did the electoral college truly based on the population, it would be equivalent to one person, one vote, and the major cities would all, typically speaking, go blue, and every president that we would have would be Democratic. And that's the reason why the electoral college, in my understanding of it, I don't know everything about
The electoral college
it.
was there before the cities and before all the cities became Democratic.
Right. It's got to change, though. I think it's got to go. It's got to turn into one person, one vote. And I don't say that because I think that every president should be a Democrat. I don't think that at all. I just think that it's unfair to say that the people who live in cities who are typically of higher education, of higher income, of higher well-rounded knowledge, who have traveled more, who have experienced more of life's nuances and have a greater understanding and wisdom. These are the people who typically live in metropolis cities. That their votes are less than the people who have been born and raised on a farm. I just don't think that that's fair. It's got to be one person, one vote. That's the only way to make it equal.
I'm trying to understand your axes for a person who lived and moved to a city and why that makes them wiser.
So let's take
because intelligence is one thing, wisdom is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't find statistical data
on how one measures wisdom.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe wisdom is
find it
maybe
on
the wrong
IQ.
word to use. wisdom is a very fickle thing. I know people who have gone a lot of places and done a lot of education who have no wisdom whatsoever. And I know people who haven't gone anywhere or done anything and they're wise beyond all comparison. I could learn much more from a farmer in the middle of nowhere who understands what life truly is than somebody who has been all over the world and has this idea.
Yeah.
So you're right on that about the wisdom part. Maybe I shouldn't have said the word wisdom, but
Well, maybe you should have said the word wisdom. This is where it actually lies. It's
Yeah.
not about the intelligence. It's not about how much everyone knows, but what's the wisest decision people should be making?
yeah.
What's the wisest vote?
What is it though?
I'm not here to explain that.
I am.
I'm sitting here.
I'm here to explain it.
I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm just here to say, like,
I'll tell you who you should vote for. You should vote for.
oh, okay, coming right here from Chad. Batter up.
I think
You can back out if you
the
don't want.
bit. No, I don't want to back out of it. I do want to. I'm not going to say human's name. Here's what we need to be working on right now: a multi-party system. Someday I'm going to be president of the United States of America. It's just inevitable. And I'm going to start a new party. It's going to be called the Millennial Party. And the Millennial Party is going to be about the people, for the people. And I also, I've been thinking a lot
I
about,
like how you said about the people for the people, as if you don't believe that, and as if you think that's a big Instagram-y crap statement.
I don't believe that's the current state of things.
It's certainly not. Sure.
I don't agree that that's the
But
current
you don't
state
think
of
we will
things.
ever have a party that'll be that way, it sounds like. If you're creating a new party.
I think
It's not gonna
if I'm going to
actually-
create a new party, it needs to be more new wavy. I don't know. One guy having so much power, I don't even really like the idea of a president. One guy having all that power, I'm not sure about that. It's a little, I do understand that there are checks and balances that do exist that he has to go through.
There's a lot of stalemate as
I
well.
shouldn't say she, one would have to go through. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good system. I've thought about recently the idea of almost making America like Europe, and that each state's its own country. And then we are all together by the European Union. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that
But you
what
can
we
leave.
already are?
But you can leave, and each state would pretty much govern itself.
That's conservatism.
Is that conservatism?
Yeah, I believe we should have limited government. We're all united by this limited government that gives us the vast, laws. Okay, here's the big don't kill, right? All that stuff, right? And then states run their own communities. Okay, and then those communities are cities or towns, counties, and then cities and towns, and then little village districts, and then
maybe that's
streets
the
and
idea.
families.
Maybe that's the idea that conservatism is. It's not what conservatism is in the United States of America. They are trying to do things on a mass scale that I don't agree with.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the answer, man. I think about it frequently.
I think we all do, which is good.
It
Isn't that
is
good? I don't think we were
good.
thinking about it 4 years ago.
You weren't thinking about it 4 years ago?
I don't think most of us were thinking about it very hard, as hard as we all are now.
Well, yeah, because hate me for saying it, things were better with Obama.
Okay.
Things were just easier. People weren't as much in conflict, and maybe the conflict is good in a certain sense. I mean, we're figuring out a lot of things that shouldn't have been okay in the first place. With feminism, and Black Lives Matters, and the Electoral College, and voting, and a whole bunch of issues. The end with that sentence.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
So, and this is not, I'm not trying to relate it back to dating apps, but I'm trying to relate it back. I'm just trying to give a
You can use the
microcosm
analogy.
example. No, I'm not. But a couple, let's say a married couple.
Yeah.
They argue a lot, right? And then let's say they don't even argue anymore, and they're just apathetic towards each other. What's the next step after that? Divorce. There's plenty of couples who like have got back from the brink of divorce before they didn't want to, but they're like, I don't see any way out of this. Mm-hmm. But they like struggle for it, and they come back to it, and they, a couple years later, they have a healthy relationship again, and they'll say stuff like, "We're arguing again." I think that's great. Why? Because we want to communicate. Because we care.
Yeah.
Because we give a crap.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're in it. We're passionate about this relationship, and we want to make it work for both of us. And we're just going to be in this stalemate until we both die.
Yeah.
In love. But so,
you know what I mean?
So we care. Suddenly we care again. Suddenly people were quieter. Maybe too quiet. I mean, this country has always usually been a big argument.
Yeah.
It's always just been a big, I mean, the founding fathers, say what you want about them. The founding fathers, the fact that like old people and young people came together and wrote a document, can you believe what a freaking miracle that is?
Yeah, wow.
They argued for who knows how long, right? Okay, forever. I mean, they like fought for independence, and then like that was 76, and then in the 1780s they came out with the Constitution. They're like, okay, Britain's gone. Can't believe we did that. Now,
well, I thought the Constitution,
Declaration of Independence is in 1776.
Yes,
and then the Constitution came out.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so we declared why we are a country. We believe all men are created equal.
Now what?
Now how do we do this? We said it. Now we got to stick to it. We thought we were going to die in a hellfire. Right?
Yeah.
So now how do we do this? Well, we're going to do the Constitution. And
what's your opinion on still running on that Constitution? There's a lot of criticism of it.
There's always. Yeah, there's a lot of criticism of it. I think we're criticizing just about everything that America was founded on right now.
Yeah.
So, in that regard, I mean, that's good. We're like we're going back to like the root, right? And we're thinking about it, and I think that's good. I think we should be critical. I think I'm basically for.
You think we should revamp it? We should can it? We should keep it?
I don't think we should can it. I think we keep amending it, and that's a good practice and system to keep having in place. I think we should have the freedom of speech wholeheartedly. I think all speech should be protected.
Yeah.
And I think besides, call for violence and yelling fire.
Sometimes like you gotta like treat it like we treated the Bible. Like the Bible was written like King James version, right? That was like the first one. And everybody's like, I can't even read this. It's all thou and thee and all this crazy stuff. And then like the New Wave version came in. It's almost like we need to just go through the Constitution to be like, all right, this is the New Wave, but it's like the same thing, but just so you can understand it. Like there's more emojis in it. There's more, eggplants and peaches.
Well, we don't need to do that. That's almost.
I don't think we should put emojis in the Constitution.
Good. I mean, we understand.
I just say things because I think they're funny.
Yeah. No. I like that. It's the whole thing is that's the whole reason, not the whole reason, but that's a big reason why we have the Supreme Court to interpret the laws, interpret the Constitution.
Yeah.
And these are dudes currently, and there's been women, but
there is one right now, Ruth Ginsburg.
Yeah. These are people who have studied the law excruciatingly close for years upon years upon years, gone up through the courts and became ultimate Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
So like, why not trust these people?
I don't know. I get upset with the way that the last Supreme Court justice got in, and I'm not even upset.
Yeah.
Let's separate the conversation from his merit to how he got in.
Okay.
His character to how he got in.
Okay.
How he got in was that they changed the law from a 60-40 minimum vote to a 51-49. I don't agree with that. They didn't have the votes to even confirm him. So they changed the law in order to confirm him. I don't think that was okay. I think that the entire history of our nation has been 60-40 of getting a Supreme Court justice, and we've got along just fine.
That's not true.
We got all of our Supreme Court justices into the Supreme Court justice on a 60-40 vote. That part is...
The same thing has happened before, besides the 51-49.
what, like we've changed the law in order to make something happen?
There was a big sexual assault scandal with Clarence Thomas in the 1990s.
Tell me about that.
He was accused of sexually assaulting Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas, now a Supreme Court justice. He was a black conservative. And many might say that the Democrats tried to, he put it as a high-tech lynching by public opinion.
And so what did they do about that?
They put him on stand just the way they did Brett Kavanaugh. It's a repeat.
And he still got but he still got the 60-40 vote.
Yeah, but then why, if he got the 60-40 vote, why put him up at all? Why make a big deal about this? He's been vetted so many times.
I just think again, set him character aside and how he got in aside. I don't like that they changed the law for it. Brett Kavanaugh, you could say whatever you want about his character, or that they shouldn't have put him on a stand, or should have put him on a stand, or given any credence to the allegation against him, character aside. Yeah. Don't like that they changed that law. I think that's unfair that they did that.
Sure.
And I don't like that they didn't give Merrick Garland a fair shot at becoming a Supreme Court justice, because Justice Scalia died during the Obama administration, and Obama put in Merrick Garland, who I really thought was generally a pretty center fella. He seemed like a really genuine individual, but the House and the Senate were both conservative, and they just washed him and said, whoever gets in next will decide. And I think that they shouldn't have done that. I think that he passed away during the Obama administration. Obama made a nomination that was completely at least worthy of a vote, and they wouldn't even give him the credence to vote on him. And I think that was wrong. I think that changing the vote was wrong. And I mean, even Merrick Garland's character aside, I think that they should have at least voted on the fellow. You know what I'm saying?
Are they supposed to?
Yeah. I mean, obviously they didn't have to.
They don't have to. What does that mean?
They didn't.
Oh, is it a law? Is it like the 5149 law? And if we don't know, we don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Because I'm saying, I'm asking you just for consistency's sake.
Yeah,
If you're like, well, they changed this law, I don't think they should have done. I'd be like, all right, yeah, fair, okay, got it. But it's like, well, this is a law, and it says like the next president gets to choose if someone dies. It's like, well, okay, well, then they kept that law.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I guess that's kind of a fair criticism on it. It was just that Obama put up a nomination. There was nothing wrong with this nomination. But the Republicans ran the House and the Senate, and it was almost like they wouldn't even hear him out. They wouldn't even vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
They just were pretty much like, because we run the House and the Senate, we have the authority to just completely can this and wait until the next person. We're not even going to hold a vote on it. And I thought that was kind of shitty. But you're right. They did have the authority to do it. So, and they did it. So
I think you're talking about the attitude, and I understand. Here's the miracle about America, is that every 4 years, and first of all, it was by tradition. It wasn't until FDR that we make it implemented of a 4-year presidency.
Right. You're right.
Tradition,
because he was elected 4 times.
4 or three. I think it was. I know at least 3. But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
More than 2.
More than 2, right? And that's because we were in depression and war, and we're working it out. Okay, so, and he's the only guy that happened sequentially speaking. So,
yeah.
But before that, it was a tradition, and it wasn't even a law. It wasn't even in writing. It was just a tradition that we will peacefully exchange and hand over the power
after 2 terms.
After 2 terms to whoever was voted on by the general public, right? Mm-hmm. And that, the idea that that's even gonna work, and everyone's gonna be okay with it, is are you kidding me? Do you know how much anxiety and depression people just have on a daily basis? And then that happens, and we're like, I guess that guy's sitting there now.
Yeah.
And he's okay, nice tie. No one's had a dress yet, so. But you know what I mean? So it's why we're not freaking out all the time for the past 200 years or so, gets me, right? Okay, so, and now
freaking out about what?
The fact that another person's well, it's a new guy. It's a new guy. It's even a new guy from the same place, but he's not the other guy.
I like that though. It otherwise it'd be a dictatorship.
Right. But right now, we're still doing that. And we're saying, like, right now, we're not having peaceful transfers of power.
Yeah, well, that just has to deal with the people, though.
People. We're the people.
Yeah, we are the people.
We are the people. And we're all complaining on the internet, mostly. But even we're protesting everywhere, every day for something, I guess.
We're just super divided.
Yeah. So it's like we don't have peaceful transfers of power. We're all saying, like, this is not okay. We're like, whether we're going to force our guy in, or we're going to say that that's not my president.
Yeah.
It's like,
or we're going to gerrymander the map, and we're going to make it so that certain areas have more power than others.
Sure.
And I hate that. That's another reason why I think the Electoral College has to go.
If we get rid of the Electoral College, it becomes a complete mob rule. So we can't. Then it does.
What are you saying? Like, people will threaten other people to say, if you don't vote for this person, we'll.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're already kind of doing that.
But isn't that the same way?
What do you mean?
I mean, people could do that now, saying, if you don't vote for this person, I will physically hurt you.
Yeah, people did that, and we should stop that. That's violence. The call to violence.
Yeah, I know what it is. But, like, you're saying, what do you mean by mob?
It's all mob rule. We're not a republic anymore. We're a democracy.
Yes.
And sometimes what the majority wants may not be the healthiest thing. While back when the majority wanted slavery, that's not a good thing.
Right. Well, yeah.
Okay.
But isn't the Electoral College supposed to be reflective of the populace? Right? You get a certain number of electoral points, whatever, numerical number, based on the population within that area.
Yeah, okay. I think we're following, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So isn't that sort of the same as one person, one vote, except it just kind of covers it up a little bit?
No.
Why don't you think so?
Well, if it was, then why would you be complaining about it?
Because it's not.
Well, then it's not the same.
Well, I'm saying, like, if it was truly one person, one vote, and the Electoral College reflected that, that would theoretically be the same outcome of the popular vote.
It's not one person, one vote. It's like one voice, one vote. Like this general community district ultimately says this voice. We voice this vote.
Yes.
And then the representative puts in the vote. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
one voice, one vote.
But everybody has a voice.
Yeah. And you get to have a voice in potentially changing that district. And districts over this past election did change. And people were shocked. So you can change the districts.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's not. I understand what you're saying, that they have a number upon them to which all the people speak a voice as to where that number goes.
Yeah.
But that number that is placed upon them is higher than it should be in more rural areas. They're given a larger voice than they should be able to have. They're giving them more points. They're giving the cities less and the rural areas more. Or they've gerrymandered it in a way so that it's not like it's one voice, one vote. It's like these voices are louder than these other voices. Like we've written the map in a way where we believe that these voices should be louder than these other ones. And
how often do you think about California? Like so you were from Michigan, right?
Uh-huh.
How often did you hear about California in the news? Like, just, I mean,
not too often.
Not too often. On a national level, we always heard about California forest
Well,
fires.
I was an actor and I went to school for film video production, so
Okay,
California was frequently
How often did you hear about Chicago or New York?
A good amount.
Good amount.
Yeah.
They get a lot of...
Maybe closer in proximity.
Sure. Cool. You hear a lot about that.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard about Rhode Island ever?
Family Guy.
Right. And then nothing.
Yeah, and then nothing.
And they're the smallest state.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't hear about that, if you don't hear about Rhode Island, what are you supposed to do?
Have a mass shooting.
That is...
You think the University of Virginia Tech would be popular today?
Oh my God. This is terrible. But what are you supposed to do? You gotta help them get somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do about Rhode Island.
Well, I understand, but they have like 6 electoral votes, which is generally representative of how many people live there. But
Same thing for every
yeah, but it's not.
electoral vote.
It's not the same. Otherwise, the electoral college, the numbers on the electoral college would not be disproportionate to that of the popular vote. I mean, Hillary Clinton won by over, what was it? Maybe not over. It was around 3 million votes, the popular vote. But she got washed in the electoral college. There's something weird going on there. And if he won, but it's just, there's something weird with this electoral college thing. And isn't a true democracy? I feel like it should be one, everybody gets a vote, but it's almost like you don't count it as a vote. It's like you count it as a vote to the voice of these electoral magical fairy numbers that are not correctly represented within the areas. If it was truly one person, one vote, that creates one voice, then I feel like the outcome would not be what it currently is. And we would... I do agree with you that people don't know what they want. I have thought I have wanted many things in my life. And only when I didn't get them did I realize I am so happy I did not get that thing that I thought that I wanted.
Right.
But isn't that what America is supposed to be about? Give the people what they want. And that's the thing that keeps them happy. Those checks and balances and those constant elections and the change of opinion. And
yeah, we're still getting that. Apparently that's what the people wanted.
Well, it depends on what you mean by people then.
Okay.
Because, if you mean people in the sense of the most amount of people, it's not what they wanted. At least in terms of, the last election.
True. They didn't want a president to concede before she needed to.
How do you mean?
Or presidential candidate to concede before she needed to. She conceded before all the votes were in.
Yeah, but she lost every swing vote. Or every swing state.
Yeah, and she didn't go there when she needed to.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. She didn't. Don't get me wrong. Hillary Clinton is the worst. Hillary Clinton is such a bad... People forget.
It's also the easiest election to win, right?
What?
It's like the easiest election to win.
Yeah. I'm surprised Gary Johnson didn't win. Jill Stein didn't win.
I'm surprised Harambe didn't win.
I'm surprised Harambe didn't win.
We're so into memes.
I would have voted for Harambe.
What would you have done if Harambe won? It'd be like...
I would have taken my tits out. That's for goddamn sure.
Mardi Gras every day, I guess.
Tits out for Harambe.
I've just been like, so now what do we do?
Man.
I would have loved to see them I would have loved to just see everyone just go. So.
Have you ever seen that Michael Moore documentary
dead,
where
right?
he gets a fern elected as mayor or one of the senator seats?
Michael what?
Michael Moore.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
He does this little short documentary where he goes to a local government where just nobody's paying attention to it, and against the incumbent who's not being nobody's running against him, so he's just basically gonna win just because nobody's running against him. He gets a bunch of people to sign a petition to have a fern run against him. And the fern literally gets like more votes than this guy does. Than like the incumbent does. Is that the right word, incumbent?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
And it's such a funny documentary. And he's like trying to get them to register. And they're like, sir, you can't have a fern. It's a plant, sir. He goes, it has a birth date and a death date, and it was born right here in America. I don't understand what the problem is.
Wow.
And like he makes this like huge
It doesn't have a soul.
Oh, that's not in the Constitution, though. There's nothing about having a soul to win an election. It's about being an American citizen. I believe that.
Does it have a state ID?
I don't know if you need one.
Be an American citizen. It was born in America. Okay.
It's born in America. It had its paperwork.
I would have to watch this to see how
it had
how deep this gets.
He got like 1,000 people to sign a petition to like get this fern on the ballot, and people like it was like a write-in ballot only because it wasn't a registered voter, because it was a fern.
Wow.
And people like wrote in, and they just like stopped counting the votes, and he was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! What are you guys doing? You guys are not counting the votes for fern. Why aren't you guys counting votes for fern?" And there was like this huge like government corruption thing he was like trying to expose, and the government just like wrote it off, and they were like, "No, you can't." But it was obviously there to expose the problems that our system has.
Sure.
That we could elect a fern.
I mean, we could elect a fern. I mean, we have a lot of problems. I mean, academia has a lot of problems too.
Yeah. Oh my God, don't get me started on the public education system in America. One day on this podcast, I'm going to go off about that.
Yeah.
But right now I have to pee.
We can take a break. This is going good. Happy to keep making content here.
You want to keep going?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I'll pee real quick.
Okay, I want to
talk about your book. Talk about your book.
Did my phone die?
Yep. So, sorry I'm like constantly going off, you guys. I feel like there's I'm trying to understand what's going on with planet Earth and America. And there's a lot of things going on. And I'm trying to make sense of it all, man. I'm just a boy in the world trying to make sense of it all. I don't know. I think about too many things all the time. I feel like a teenage girl. Jesus. Is it going? How's the back of my head look? Great. You sure you don't want anything? You don't want a beer or some more water?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, we'll take a water. He is a lovely, hospitable host.
Yeah, thanks.
Can't remember the last time I had water. You know they don't even carry water anymore? It's like, what are we doing? It's all outsourced to Nestle. Nestle's selling it back to us. We're sitting here. I love what Bill Burr says. That guy wants to own the water.
Who?
The guy, like, the CEO of Nestle.
Who?
CEO of Nestle. What if we owned all the water? Oh my gosh. And I was like, I thought he was kidding, right? And then like, I looked into it a little bit, and then realizing like Nestle's selling a lot of water cooler jugs right now, and I'm going like, I don't know, man.
Where have you been seeing water cooler jugs?
At my work, I have to load them. I load water cooler jugs. The office manager, you know.
I've been seeing a lot for like universities.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, everyone's like worried about the water in their neighborhood. So.
Do you invest?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Like in stocks and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, cheers.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Oh, I really gotta let that get chilled before I take a sip of it. Jesus.
Oh.
How people drink neat whiskey, I will never understand. Where it's just the whiskey at room temperature. Maybe you get more of the flavor, but I can't do it. I tried for a while. couldn't do it. I completely stopped drinking for a really long time. I just kind of started to pick back up on it, and it's terrible. It's great.
Probably
It's just
terrible trying to
borrowing.
get back into
I
it.
think of it like borrowing happiness from tomorrow, pretty much. Like, I'm so happy while I'm drinking, and I feel fantastic. Next day, not
You're
so
stealing
much.
from your future. And then you have to give in some indentured servitude for the next couple hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a lot. Go to Pleasure Island. And then,
Go to Pleasure Town.
yeah, it works. Some people just want to hang out there, and then it's just like Pinocchio.
Love is like candy on the shelf.
Love is real. Thank you. Real is love. You're a wonderful crowd, really.
Oh, man.
Hi, everybody. I'm, what's his name? John, 2.5 Men. Not Charlie, the other guy. John. From Pretty in Pink. There you go. There's a reference. There's a little John Hughes reference.
I never saw Pretty in Pink. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen. Pretty in Pink, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I recently watched Breakfast Club.
Oh, man.
Which they could not make that movie today. Holy shit.
Why?
Just a lot of, like, there's some racial humor there. And there's, like, definitely super... What's the word? It's like the way that they used to treat women was not the same. They used the word faggot a lot in that movie.
Right.
And it's just like, they just couldn't use that. They just couldn't make that movie today. Or they'd have to make it and it had to be way more PC.
Sure. Yeah. If they'd have to release it. Then again, it's still how kids talk.
It is. You're absolutely right.
So they couldn't make this movie today, which that's too bad.
And
Doesn't reveal the truth about what people are actually doing.
I've been wanting to get back into stand-up comedy.
Sure.
We started to talk about this a little bit earlier, and I've been writing stand-up comedy, and I've got some jokes that people laugh at, which is fantastic. At least like when I tell them to people, that's a big step. And
right.
And I'm just a little hesitant to get up on stage just because, like what you said that you experienced going to either UCB or Groundlings, just like everybody's kind of like, you're kind of like I don't know if it's like I'm afraid that people are going to strike me down for being a straight white male. I don't think that that's what it is, but I think that people will hold me to a certain standard.
Right.
That people will almost break down what I say a little bit harder to see if there's anything there that they can sink their teeth into, that they can be upset at me for.
And not too bad.
It is too bad. And also all the open mics are at like 5 p.m. and I'm like, I want to drive in rush hour traffic on a Tuesday to go to fucking the Hollywood Improv. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm not famous.
It's the effort you want to put in. Yeah, I don't know. I think people, we have a hard time with jokes. We have a hard time with jokes.
People just have a hard time looking at themselves and fucking laughing now. It's upsetting.
My whole advice on that is like, if you're like really worried about it, is just be like, make sure your jokes are like hitting it with truth. People will laugh at truth. That's all. I mean, that's what every joke is. It's like, it's true, right? I mean, that's the whole point. And so like people, I mean, also it's only people who are like complaining on the internet. There's not a lot of people. People go to a comedy club because they want to laugh. Like they paid for it. They paid bought a couple drinks and whatever. They're sitting there. They want to laugh. You better be funny. And we know likely we're going to get some off-color, offensive stuff. But it's a joke and it's funny. So that's what I'm paying you for. Like,
that's the thing that's a little bit different about doing stand-up in Los Angeles, is that the people typically in the clubs are the people who are online, because everybody has a lot of people have a lot of social weight in the city. Sure. And also people want the attention that they would get from walking out of a comedy scene. So a lot of people also go to comedy clubs to get upset here. So there's like, you're right about that mentality, but here in the city, it's just a little bit different. It's not insanely different, but it is a little bit different. This is not Boston.
Well, it's not Boston, but I hear it's harder in New York than Los Angeles. I hear it's actually a little better in Los Angeles, ironically.
Oh, it is. You're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, I've heard some comparisons between like the New York scene and the LA scene, and it's like people work so much harder in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, they go to so many more open mics. They're putting in so much more effort. I could never do New York, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never thought about myself.
Have you been?
I've never been to New York. That's actually on my list. I mean, I've been to a bunch of those states, right? But I've just like,
Yeah.
never hit New York. My parents have been to New York. I just didn't go with them.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. That's like my next, it's like Italy for like a foreign country.
Yeah.
And then New York. As like
That's interesting.
you know,
Where do you want to go in Italy?
just, the sites, be a tourist. I'm happy being a tourist, going to Tacky
Yeah.
gift shop and going and,
You know, I just
go
went to
magnet.
Italy.
What?
You know, I just went to Italy in August?
No.
Last year?
Oh, is that what like, is that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I went to Milan, Florence, Venice, and Rome.
Great.
And it was fantastic.
Florence, Venice, Rome.
My
Trifecta.
only regret is that before I went, I did like kind of a Euro trip. Like I started in Madrid, and I went to Barcelona, Ibiza, and I went through the southern coast of France, went to Marseille, Nice, Monaco, Monte Carlo, and then I went to Milan, and then Florence, Venice, and Rome. By the time I got to Florence, I didn't have any money left for the museums.
Oh, there's museums.
Well, that's like where so much
of the Renaissance.
I mean, like I went into the I saw all the statues and I saw all the things that the public people could see. And I took a lot of photos of Asian people taking photos of the statues.
Is that in your routine? Is that in your routine?
No,
right
should
there?
it be?
That's great. That's like the whole thing.
Dude,
like,
they take photos of everything. What is that? Like I see Asian people who are always taking photos of I'm like, why are you taking a photo of that? Like, are you ever going to look at that again? They'll be like, oh, let's take a photo of that.
I don't know. Maybe
Take
they're
a
just
photo
curious.
of that. I'll be like, oh, look at that. Take a photo of it.
Maybe they're just raised with more curiosity. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. Asians in America, at least, are the ones making the most money.
Is that true?
The ones with the most privilege, economically speaking.
Yeah, Asian girls out here, man, they have a lot of money. And they always look so dissatisfied. They always look angry.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention.
Maybe not, I don't mean like Asian girls as like a blanket statement.
LA Asian girls?
I don't mean LA Asian girls as a blanket statement, but
okay. Smaller blanket than that. Okay.
I don't know. I see many of them who just look dissatisfied all the time. I don't know why. Maybe it's...
I see most people in LA who look dissatisfied all the time. I just like walk around. I just kind of like put on like a little gumption with them. So like, I just do this. And I'm like, I'm going to walk because I'm still here. Still going around the sun. Like, hey, everybody, like, what are we so sad about?
We don't have enough likes.
Excuse me, I'm going to go to Walmart and get a box of Kleenex.
Yeah.
And throw it out because it's ridiculous.
We don't have enough likes.
What are we so sad about?
Here in LA?
No, I don't know. Like in America, like we're sitting here, like people, like especially in the cities.
We're sad because we feel like we're not represented.
We're sad because we feel like we're not represented. I understand. I get it.
The thing that I loved about Obama is you can say what you want about his policies, but socially he was a phenomenal president. He seemed like a funny guy, a genuine, good-looking fella who had a great smile and just genuinely represented a good human being, regardless of whatever you think of his policies. And then you get Hillary Clinton, who is a fucking Muppet. And then you get Donald Trump, who is like a constant exploding diarrhea asshole all the time, just like you never know what's going to come out next.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even remember eating that last week. Everything's coming out all the time. And nobody feels represented. And also, we haven't had a real serious war in this country. People felt
represented by Trump.
People do feel represented by Trump. But there are a lot of people who don't feel anywhere near represented by Donald Trump. I think that maybe it's the polarization.
Diversity-wise as well, like people felt really represented by Donald Trump.
What's that?
I believe more blacks voted for Donald Trump than Hillary.
Oh, man, I got to look up that statistic right now.
I believe Hispanics as well. Latinos. I mean, they're all talking about that with the rappers, right? You remember rap? You remember because like rap. First of all, rappers always put Donald Trump in their songs in the first place, but rappers were also just talking about how they love the fact that Donald Trump like was all about like winning and like having it all and having $1 million. So like rappers just liked what he was about because they felt like that's what they have been rapping about for years since they were kids. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, that's how elections work. People feel like they didn't get to be represented this time around.
I'm struggling reading this information.
Oh, sorry. If I could give you the exact number, I'd give you the exact number. But it's not.
It looks like 37% of white people voted for Clinton. 88% of black people voted for Clinton. 65% of Hispanics voted for Clinton, according to this article by BBC.
Maybe I have that wrong. Maybe it's actually more blacks voted for Trump than any other Republican before or something like that.
It might be less.
I could be wrong.
If 88% of those who are African American voted for Hillary Clinton, that's
could be wrong right here on this podcast.
Really, okay. It's okay. You're allowed to be. You're allowed to be wrong.
I'm allowed to be. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's great.
We really don't like that people are ignorant, but we don't allow people to be ignorant.
Yeah, you can't be wrong in today's day and age.
Right? See? That's why I'm saying it so many times. I'm like, I guess I'm wrong.
I get upset sometimes that there's no like road to redemption for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Some things are unforgivable. That I can definitely say. Bill Cosby, you're done. You're fucking done, Bill Cosby. Mm-hmm. There's no coming back.
Okay.
What he did was inexcusable. But then there's like people like what do you think about Louis C.K.?
So, well, I mean, I thought that was interesting in terms of like what you were talking about in terms of like people like about ready to like already with their notepad going to criticize you in a comedy club.
Yes.
Because he came back, right? I listened to what his set was because everyone was really frustrated that he went, that he came back.
Yes.
Well, not everybody, but there's a big chunk of people that were upset. So I'm like, well, let me listen to the set and see if other people are just like, boo, you're back, right? Everyone was like,
you got a standing ovation.
Everyone was laughing. I listened to the whole thing. Everyone was just laughing the whole time. Now, maybe people did get up and walk out if they didn't agree with the fact that he was up there because they didn't get the chance. Like, I didn't pay to see this. Why is my money going to this? Or my time is going to. So
he can't announce that he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and you can't, and you don't get to hear a person walk out.
Yeah,
unless they make a big shtick about it, and they didn't. So maybe they're being respectful in that way. I don't know. But in all honesty, people seem to appreciate the fact that this comedian came back and did comedy again. In terms of Louis C.K., what he did was gross. Sounds gross, right?
Yeah, it's like fucked up.
Just to like be clear, like he would take interns, right? And then he'd have them come in. He'd leave the door like he wouldn't enclose them. He wouldn't.
Yeah, like masturbating in front of girls.
And they could leave whenever they want.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's gross.
It's super gross. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of power in like not like political power, like
I don't even know if it's necessarily a power thing or just like he's kind of a little sexually fucked up. Like I know girls, like I've slept with women who want that to be fucking slapped in the face, who want to be choked while you're making love with them.
Yeah, there's that whole aspect to that.
And I know like maybe it's just some weird sexual thing that he really gets off to just masturbating in front of women without asking them.
Yeah.
And that's wrong, but I don't know if it's unforgivable. And also when people jump on the train of really hating on him for that set that he did, especially the part about the school shooting where he's like saying like these kids shouldn't have a voice because like you just threw the fat kid in front of you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the people who are upset about that, I'm like, you've never listened to Louis stand up before, have you?
That's all he does.
That's all he does.
Try to like ride the fence.
It's super fucked up comedy. And that's one of the reasons why he's become one of the most famous comedians and why
Especially
I
in this day and
personally
age.
love his comedy still to this day. I would even go as far as saying I still love Bill Cosby's comedy to this day. Because art and the person are two separate things. I think Bill Cosby, I don't think anybody should ever air his comedy anymore. I think that we pretty much got to write him off. But if I watch his comedy, the jokes are still funny. If I listen to Thriller, I'm still going to dance. Sure. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter what they did as a human being, but like the art is so good still. And I just can't take that away. And anybody who gets upset for Louis for making that joke, I laughed at it. I'm fucked up. I love fucked up senses of humor. Have you ever listened to like Anthony Jeselnik?
I haven't listened to Anthony Jeselnik. I listened to Bob Saget.
That's something.
Have you listened to Bob Saget?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. It's kind of a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine.
We should, if you want, after we're done with this, we should watch Anthony Jeselnik's special. It's like, I don't know, it's like 60 minutes or something. It's so fucked up and funny. I mean, he says things that are just not politically correct, but they're just really funny because
right.
I think it goes back to what you were saying about the being authentic.
Yeah.
And I look at somebody like Bill Burr, who in the last 3 or 4 years has completely just arose out of nowhere.
Yeah, through the internet.
Through the internet and through doing a ton of open mics. But like, here's a straight white male who just came up in comedy making very politically incorrect jokes, but he's authentic to himself in a way where he says, yeah, I know you're not supposed to make fun of fat people, but I don't know why. I'm not shoving the Twinkies in there. You are. Like, sure. That's so authentic to him and funny that you just go, it's just him, and you laugh at it. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the thing that I'm searching for still in writing my comedy. And I'm not going to lie, I'm afraid to get up and do it. And I do make some excuses like, I don't want to commute there. And also you have to pay money to do the open mics. And I'm also very, very busy all the time trying to afford living in Los Angeles. And so I'm like, you know, take it. And also the thing about these open mics, you have to stay for the whole hour. Yeah. You have to hear all the comedians. You should. Which you should. And you're absolutely right. You should. But if I could just show up and do my set and leave, I would probably already be going to open mics. It's just a matter of like, I have to show up 15, 30 minutes early to get a spot. And then I have to sit through an hour and then maybe even talk to people for a little bit after. Like, you shouldn't leave. It's very frowned upon. And also, I do also want to meet other comics. I want to meet other people. I want to see people who are funny and talk to them and befriend them and have them on my fucking podcast too. There's that.
Sure. Yeah. You see, I mean, you know what Brian Regan did when he first started? He I think he might have found a place for like free where you could just do open mic, but he did it every night. Like, the guy said, "Oh, like how often do you want to come?" He's like, "Can I come every night?" He's like, "You want to come every night?" And he was like, "Yeah, if I."
I said that to my ex-girlfriend. She didn't like that.
Oh my gosh. I saw it coming at some side. But you want to do stand up every night? He says, if you allow me, he's like, okay. He's like, so I did it every night for 2 years, and then I went on the road. And the whole reason is now I get to work with different crowds. I get to work on my material as much as humanly possible. And so it's like, that's what you got to do. I mean, I know, I believe that's what Jabuki did. Jabuki Young White. He's on Trevor Noah's show.
Yeah, I don't watch Trevor Noah.
Yeah,
I know who he is, of course.
But. Right, yeah. He's a correspondent for Trevor Noah. Mm-hmm. But
he's the guy in The Daily Show. He took over Jon Stewart's part, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. But that's Jabuki is someone that
Jabuki.
I know a little bit. He's been on Fallon twice now. He's from my neck of the woods. I actually faced him in a speech tournament. In original comedy, yeah. Oh wow. He was great back then. He had a lot of energy.
The song's not made after him, is it?
No.
Jabuki.
Well, it's not named after him.
I thought that was a very famous person who the song was named after.
But he went to DePaul University and he did comedy there, and then he dropped out of university and to pursue his comedy career because it was taking off.
That's fantastic.
So he did it for I guess he did it for like 3 years.
I really want to do the open mic thing. I got to figure out a way to get this to make me money. Just so I can do only this. That is the point. I don't want like all this fancy shit. I want to not have to do 110 Lyft rides a week. That's what I want.
That's what you want.
I want to have this support me enough so that you don't have to send me like your book before. I will have had the time to read it.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool, right? Like I looked up like a little bit, I went on your Instagram. I liked some of your videos and your photos, and I watched what you were recently putting out so that I have an idea of what you're doing and what you're talking about. And then you told me a few things that, a few talking points that like your book is about. And so I'd have something to talk about. Right. But I would just like to just have that already. Yeah. Or just have somebody on who have someone on who's just on YouTube and also here in Los Angeles and like, hey man, I watched like 4 of your videos and they're super funny. Yeah. Like I just want to have you on. Totally. And I want to be able to make the amount of money. I'm thinking about just taking all of this and just putting it out only on Patreon. All of my content just doing it on Patreon, which is a dark move. I don't like doing that. I really want to get to the point where content is just free for everybody. Mm-hmm. Like I used to make music. Mm-hmm. You know this probably. I used to do music back in university. Yeah. And any money I ever made from doing music, I always just wanted to make t-shirts and just give them out to my fans. I wanted to make CDs and just give my music out. It was never about me making money. And even this, it's not necessarily about me making money, but if it's like they say that the first million is the hardest, right? The first $1 million that you make is the hardest million, because after that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million comes a lot easy because you have the money to then, and you have all the time to then invest and figure out the right things. Like if I had all of my shit paid for and all I had to do was be an actor in Los Angeles, that's the first $1 million. Quitting your day job, having nothing to do but just fucking making content all the time, making the YouTube videos, going on the audition, self-submitting, shooting the headshots, doing the reels, try it, fail, 12 times, fail. I want to shoot 12 real footages and have all of them fail for the 13th to be the right fucking one. But I don't have that kind of time and money. It's that first $1 million that's so hard to make.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but there's like systems you put in place to make sure that you make it to the $1 million. Like, you ever hear of Grant Cardone?
What's his name?
Grant Cardone. He's all over all social media, so you'll find him on Instagram.
Grant Cardone.
Grant Card 1. Grant Cardone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He talks about saving 40% of your income.
Wow.
Yeah. What are you going to do? He's like, solve that problem with your other 60%. And there you go, just bank 40% of your income. He's like, and that's all I did. And then I became a millionaire. But you know what? I wasn't living like a millionaire. But I had $1 million. He's like, when I became a millionaire, no one would have known I became a millionaire. I barely knew I became a millionaire.
Wow.
That's the whole idea. I just kept working on my money. I kept investing in like properties. That's what he started doing. And then,
yeah, that's an interesting thing. It's I do want to invest. I want to save some money, but then at the same time, it's like I cannot wait to spend that money on the things that I think will make me more money. Like, I really enjoy traveling, and I want a lot of my social stuff to be surrounded around my travels. And traveling costs a lot of money. And then also, while you're there, you have to be able to shoot the content, build the content, put it out while you're doing it. Ton of work.
I see it. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this is crazy.
But that's the type of work that I want to do.
That's good.
The problem is that it's a lot of work doing all of that and doing 110 Lyft rides a week. That's too much work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You could. I mean, there's a guy who also films all his like Lyft rides.
I thought about that. I thought about doing that. I thought about like putting up a sign on the back head, the head thing. In the car chair saying, do you want to be on my podcast? Let me know.
Oh, yeah.
And then if someone's like hey, I see you got this thing about being on your podcast. Let me know. What's that about? And I'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, I got this podcast. I put my phone up right here, too, so I record it and throw it up on YouTube if you want. I got a sheet waiver, to use your image. your likelihood.
Yeah.
And you can wait to sign it until after we're done, so you don't say anything too ridiculous or something that you don't agree with saying. And shooting that, but the audio quality I don't think would be good enough unless I had lavalier mics attached to myself and them, or like these microphones in my car, which there's no way to set them up. And also I would want multiple camera angles than just my iPhone in the front alone doing it. And it, like, I don't want someone to get my car and be like, why do you have like 4 GoPros in here and a thing to be on your podcast about? Like, I just want a Lyft ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have thought about that. I'm still trying to figure it out. Do you have any suggestions?
To make money? I mean, I like to make money off my Instagram too.
Have you?
No.
No, not yet.
No. I'd like to make money off a YouTube page. I started a little bit of a YouTube page, but that not at the moment. It's not like really active at the moment. There's like one video that explains why Tinder's probably going to get eaten up when Facebook joins the dating app world, at least in America. It hasn't hit America yet.
My mother got so upset.
Except Facebook looks like it's dying now, so I don't know.
It's not. It's never gonna die. It's just for old people. It's never gonna die.
Yeah,
though.
like MySpace. So like MySpace is dead.
MySpace is dead. Did you hear about that thing that happened where they lost everyone's music today?
Where?
On MySpace, they lost over 50 million songs from 14 million artists.
Really?
Excuse me. Yes.
And that's like MySpace doesn't have a lot going for it, and that's like the only thing they have.
That was the only thing that they had going for it.
And then like Instagram shut down too. Like everyone's just.
Well, they just went offline.
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram just went offline.
Problem.
They blacked out, man.
Yeah. Like.
I didn't know what to do with myself that day.
I didn't realize. Oh, I felt good because I didn't realize. I was like, oh, Instagram was down. Okay, cool. That must mean I'm doing all right. Must mean I got my sanity.
I was like, why won't my feed refresh? I was like, what is going on with this? And then, so of course I jumped on Twitter, which is where I go when I have problems with Instagram, and everybody's like, get blacked out again. It's the biggest blackout they've ever had. Facebook and Instagram both had problems all day long.
Yeah, that's Facebook.
Did you see? Do you? Yeah. You follow me on Instagram, right? Do you ever watch my stories?
I don't watch a lot of people. I'm not a story guy.
It's okay if you don't.
I know. I mean, I haven't.
I was going to tell you about. So I put out this story where I was like, man, Instagram was down all day today. I made like $4,000 and did like 50 things that I've been trying to get done. This is awful. Like, I'm so productive. What's going on?
Well, there you go. You don't got to wake up in the morning. Just shut off Instagram and then re-download it.
I do enjoy doing the social media thing a lot. I really want to.
That's good.
I really want to do.
I have a hard time with it. I just have a hard time building content. I'm just like, this is.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of just doing it because what I really care about, again, it's like you said, it's like not about me, but I'm sitting here going like, I want to be able to give people the stuff I know, and like the stuff directly from my book. I'm just gonna give it to you. It's fine. You're gonna maybe you want the book because it's all like in one little spot, and then you can give it to your friend. Right? Cool. Share the idea. Share this idea. That's all. Just spread the idea. That's fine. It's not about me. Spread the idea because I think ultimately it's not about building. It's not about building a great Instagram page. It's not about building money for Lewis Stone. It's about building a great country at the end of the day. And I think we need to get back in touch with relationships, and we can't go back. We have to go forward. So let's use this dating app thing.
It's about leaving the world with more than it had before you came into it.
And good more.
Good more.
Yeah, don't just like
yes, of course.
drop a bunch of beanie
It's
babies
about
and call
coming
it
to this
a day.
planet and just trying to make it a little bit better. Like that your existence here made it a little bit better.
Yeah. And the thing is that trying to give people like the truth and trying to give them like I'll go and say a dating app's Instagram page and see very kind of niche-y, Instagram-y kind of things. Like, I want to go on a date, but right now I'm a potato. Like, I'm like, yeah, and a lot of people are going to like that. And a lot of people are following you, and they're going to comment on it, and they're going to send it to their friend.
You forgot the hashtag vegan after potato.
Hashtag vegan, not really. Right.
I want to go outside right now, but I'm such a potato. Hashtag vegan.
And people will engage with that, and that's cool. And it's partially because some people find it funny. Some people like the content. Some people are just following you because they like you, and so they like the content.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's relatable for people, but is it helping anybody? And I don't know. And I just want to make sure anything I'm putting out there is really just helping people and inspiring people to.
The hardest part is putting it out there, Lou.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Is just.
And I'm giving it to you, but it's just like it's like creating it. Like you gotta like.
Listen, if you're gonna catch a fish,
have 60.
do you ever think about how much work goes into catching an actual fish?
Yeah, I've never really caught a fish.
You got to get like all of your. Maybe you don't even have a tackle box. Maybe your dad doesn't even have a tackle box. My dad had a tackle box. I was lucky. So I had a bunch of lures already. But then like you got to go and you got to find a bunch of lures. You got to get the reel. You got to buy a decent reel. You got to learn how to use it. Like so much shit goes in before you even cast that line.
It's true. There's this whole setup. My thing is cast as soon as possible. You're going to learn a lot more. That's why I'm doing this. This is not specific. My friend Kate was getting on me a little bit yesterday because she was like, sure,
you don't have a niche. You don't have like a specific thing that you do. And I go, you're right. I don't. That's my problem. But that's why I'm doing something. Is because I'm hoping that from doing something general will come something specific. Yeah. That from quantity will come quality. That by doing these conversations with people, I will say, you know what? I really need to get a fucking map right here. I really need to fucking get some artwork in this apartment. I really need to get a different table because this is fucking making sound all the time. I need to be lower. These chairs are not comfortable. Like I need to completely revamp this. I need different microphone equipment.
But that's the whole point. It's a blank slate right now.
It's a blank slate right now. But the hardest part. I just ran into my microphone.
Today, this room. Tomorrow, the world.
Yeah. You know, I used to wear white T-shirts into my auditions when I was younger because I'd be like, I'm like your blank slate. You can paint me however you want.
Did you tell people that?
I'm an artist.
You told people that. You're not going to answer, but you told.
I said that in one audition.
Did I get you the part?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to be authentic.
You are, and in my authenticity, because the thing in my head is that I would say to be like, yeah, next. But I'm also not a Hollywood exec. I'm just like a regular dude here, so that's a different. Like,
you're on your way to Hollywood exec, Lou. I mean, another reason why I want listen. Hey, exec. Another reason why I wanted to have you on this podcast. Reason. You're my first person that I've had that's not Kate on this.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is because I can look at you and I know that you're going to do something successful. I don't really know what it is yet. Maybe it's this dating app thing. Maybe this dating app thing will be a step toward the next thing.
Thank you.
You're going to do something successful. You've got a successful mentality. You're like a morally good-looking dude. That helps a lot. That like actually has a work ethic and isn't afraid to take chances like moving from the south suburbs of Chicago to Los Angeles. It takes a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to just fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it. I know other people who are like out there kind of doing it.
I had zero plan. I had zero plan.
I had zero plan. I had buy a GoPro. I had
You have another battery or no?
This is this battery. I honestly think it might be just overheating. It was pretty hot when I put in the last battery. Okay.
I'm just
See
wondering
if your phone's still working.
Yeah, if my phone's not working, then we only have one camera going.
Yeah, your phone's not working.
Oh. Jeez.
Okay, good. Yes, we're having fun.
Yeah,
I might have cut that part out if I did. We were just checking on the cameras.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you talking about?
I have no idea. I'm just letting it.
I was complimenting you on your balls. To move out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had zero plan coming out here.
I had like $4,000 or $5,000, a car and a girl, and a couch to crash on for a week. Here we go. Gotta
That's
figure
awesome.
it out.
I didn't-
Can't
yeah.
stand the burbs of Detroit anymore. Cannot be there anymore.
Wow.
Gotta come somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't. I was talking to a pastor, and he was like, "Why do you got to go out there? Like, why?" I was just like, "What?" I'm like,
To sin.
I just feel like I had no qualms about. There's no sin, yes or no issue coming out here. Which is,
I'm just
that's not
kidding.
the point. Yeah, no. But like some people are like, I gotta stop the sin coming out of Hollywood.
Yeah,
or like,
right.
I gotta go for all.
Oh, man, I get people-
I've been held back so long. I gotta let it all out.
Last time I was home for Christmas, my uncle said to me, "Make sure you keep those liberals in California."
Oh.
And I was like, "All right, they're already in your backyard, but all right."
That's true.
Yeah.
True. And the conservatives are in your backyard here, so
Yeah. Right.
right. So
Lancaster is a stone throw away.
yeah, no, yeah, I he's like, why do you gotta come out here? I was just like, I don't know. It's just like, I gotta do that. Like that just gotta do that. And why stay here? Like I know everything that's here. Like I like everything that's here.
See, that's a man move.
Right.
That's like a man has to go out and make a way for himself.
I was like, I gotta do this hero's journey thing.
Yeah.
I hear the call. Whatever that is, instinctually, God, I believe in me, it was God.
Yeah.
But
I believe that too.
right. And I was just like, I don't know. Like I just feel it. You gotta go. I don't know. And whether I'm supposed to stay
when
there.
you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. But seriously. And I don't know like if I'm just supposed to learn something when I go there and come back but whatever. I'm gonna figure it out and we'll see what happens. So I went out there.
How much money did you have when you come out here?
I had like 5.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
I had like just around 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a car? Did you drive out?
I had a car.
Did you drive out?
Yeah, with my dad.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, totally.
Well, how did he get back? He took a plane back?
Yeah, he took a plane.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice little road trip.
See, I moved out with my significant other at the time.
That's good.
Yeah, it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I hadn't moved out with her, I don't know how things would have went.
Done it. Yeah.
Would have been really hard.
I found a place with 4 people. Like before that, me and my dad like went out for like a week.
4 people?
4 people. It was in a nice place in West Hollywood.
Oh, that's
like
good.
a generally nice place. It was either like live in a studio by myself, okay, or live with these like 4 guys, and they seemed like pretty okay. And there's like this guy who like sent us a message like, "Hey, I saw like we had posted like we made profiles in a couple places, and we're like the whole week just find a place, whatever it is." This guy was like, "Hey, I just got a call. I got to get out to New York, and like, do you want it? Like, let's go check it out." So I went there. He was like, "You can keep the bed. Like, I'll like throw the bed in for like an extra like a couple hundred." And I was like, "Fine, great, fine." And it was nice because I was gonna share a room with a dude, but like the bed was like, okay, like officially reserved my space.
Yeah.
And I can dump my clothes there. Like that's my activity thing.
Listen, if you're trying to move to Los Angeles, people who are listening to this, if you're trying to move to Los Angeles and you have even $5,000, if you have absolutely nothing, wish you the best of luck. But Lou and I moved out with about $5,000. Looking back in retrospect, if I had done it again, I would have put an ad out on Craigslist and I would have said, "I'm from the Midwest and I have some money and I need a place to live." And I would have gotten a lot of responses.
Maybe.
And I would have looked at those. The thing is I had a hard time finding a place.
Right.
But if the places had come to me and I have been able to go and look at them.
It's just like dating apps.
Just say that you have some money. Don't say that you have a lot of money. Just say, "Hey, I'm from the Midwest. I just moved here. I have some money. I need a place to stay." Put it out on Craigslist. Give that a shot. Because I wish I had done that and given that a shot. And also on my own have been looking for places. I only on my own went on Zillow and apartments.com and looked for places. And it was fucking hard. Back 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago.
If you also go on Easy Roommate and Roomster, like that's like we made a profile on one of those, and that's why I found the guy, and he reached out to me.
Wait,
like
Roomster?
yeah, I think it was called Roomster.com.
That's a thing?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
it's like another. There's a couple of those websites like roommates looking for roommates. So
Or go on couchsurfing.com. That
Yeah.
saved me when I went to Sweden.
but also
Holy
be
shit.
careful because people like there was some creepy people.
Oh, yeah.
Like I there's plenty of stories that I can say of like people that we met. And I was like, there's one guy like he was like one of those like he has a bunch of like people living there, and he's like
he's got one of those like compound
things, and
those things are so scary and sketchy.
And I looked. It's so interesting because like it's so archetypal. It's so archetypal. It's like I just go back to Pinocchio. Like Jordan Peterson likes to talk about Pinocchio. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you ever seen Pinocchio? Maybe before? I don't know. But there's a guy named the Coachman, and he's like taking all these boys to Pleasure Island, and he says, once they go to Pleasure Island, they never come back as boys because they all turn into donkeys, which is a code for jackass. So you go to Pleasure Island, you stay there, and then suddenly you become.
That sounds fucked up.
Well, yeah, but it's real life. You don't learn any skills. You just pleasure yourself for 10 years. You come back, you're out, you're 30.
Wow, so they took Pinocchio to Pornhub.
Yeah, it's terrible. So here's what you can do that, or you can say drinking, or whatever your vice is. But we went there, this compound, it's like a bunch of people, there's a lot of girls, but there's some guys. This guy invited me and my dad in, and like he's like, yeah, like sit down. And I was like, all right, feeling it. Like, I'm not getting like immediate radar, like, don't like this guy. Like, it was okay. And then like he said, I got a good feeling about you. Like, I feel like you'd like fit well here. And like, it's like, he's like, I don't know. Like, I just got like that, like got the vibe. I'm like, okay. So, well, and it looked fine. Like, it looked like it was really busy and looked like there wasn't a lot of space, but people had enough space for like their own personal space.
Yeah,
maybe not a lot of privacy. Maybe I want some more. But whatever. And
like 3 people using the bathroom.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, knocking, and none of us know each other. None of us are siblings. And like I would like look. I didn't see any guys there at that moment, but I saw a bunch of girls, and we kind of asked them like,
hey, that's even a better situation.
Maybe. I don't know. Like.
Yeah, actually.
I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I know. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. But we like asked them, hey, so you like it? Or what's it like? And they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, cool. We left. We looked, what was it? The Dirty, like the dirty.com or something like that.
The Dirtied?
Like the Dirty. It's kind of like or like the dirt. Like, can you give me the dirt on somebody or the dirt on the place? We found this guy's name. He's like this like guy who's like trying to be a director, but he's been very manipulative, and he's like, it didn't say any. It said like he has like this like little compound in this area of Los Angeles, and he has He hates like the guys there and blah 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 blah. He's kind of like weird with the girls a little bit, blah 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 blah. And me and my dad like looked at it, and it was kind of like, well, we don't know how much of this is true. We don't know if someone's just writing a little spit article at this guy. At the same time, it's like if someone's writing something about this guy, there's probably more drama going on in there that we don't know.
This isn't an Amazon review. It's not a competitor.
No, it's just like there's some dude who's like, so I don't know. So we just didn't go with it, and it was like a weird picture of him that looked really bad. About like he looked pretty clean cut when we saw him, but there's like this other like picture. It looked like a mug shot. It just looked like a mug shot. And I was just sitting here going like, He's like, he's been trying to like make it for like 10 years, and he doesn't do anything.
There's a lot of sketch in Los Angeles.
There's a lot of sketch. So like if you do come out and you do like post an ad somewhere, okay, just like understand people will say anything, and you might have a good feeling, but really, like, you can trust your gut after you do your research.
Yeah, maybe don't listen to what I say if you're listening to this.
No, like
don't do what I said to do.
No, like you're good. You're right.
Yeah, but now I'm like thinking about it, and I'm like, you're probably right that more people would try and the thing is somebody moving out here, like I would be so, like if somebody had done that to me and put me in a compound, I was so green that I don't know if I would have been able to differentiate the bullshit from the real shit.
And some people just want to make it. Some people just want a moment for safety and some comfort. I just want to sleep for like 2 days in a nice place, not in my car.
And also, like, I was so nice when I got out here. I didn't want to tell anybody no.
Right. And you're just like, oh, I gotta be nice to everybody. I gotta like just work my way up. I gotta do whatever it takes. And whatever it takes might just mean I gotta like do this for a night.
Maybe I gotta sleep in this guy's closet with just a cot.
Yeah, and maybe this guy mugs me in the middle of the night or something. I don't know. I don't know any of these people. So
isn't everyone... okay, I'm done with it.
Right. So, but it's just like, it's a problem. You got to be careful. So, but yeah, found a place with these guys. It was all right. Didn't have a job. Didn't have a job lined up. Didn't have anything figured out. But the whole point is that you go out there. You said this earlier, where you jump into the ocean. You learn how to swim, right?
Yeah.
I was so scared for the first like 2 days though. Like I felt like I was a complete wreck. Like not like a wreck. Not like a wreck. I felt like I was a sham. I was like, I'm like, oh, like I talk like a big game. Like but I didn't really talk that big of a game. What?
Had you ever been to Los Angeles?
I've been to Los Angeles.
You have been?
Yeah, and I've been to San Francisco. I've been to California a few times before that.
Okay.
Like
See, I had only been once for 2 months. Mm-hmm. I moved out here with a different girl who I was dating at the time. She convinced me to come out here for summer in between junior and senior year university. And I fell in love with the city, and I knew I had to come back. And yeah, that was my poison.
That's good. I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
I remember, and I just... And I didn't want to tell anyone I was out here too. Like I didn't want to say like.
What do you mean you don't want to tell anybody you was out here?
I was just like, hey, I'm out here. Like I just felt very vulnerable. That's like a big thing with me. I'm like trying to be. If I'm vulnerable, I am vulnerable. I'll keep it to myself.
Oh man, I immediately came out here and it was like,
I didn't want people to think I was
I'm
begging.
in Los Angeles. I'm doing it like that. I was so proud of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing it, and then the moment I got there, and my dad like flew away, like the next day on my own, I was like. So you know what I did, right? It's just like I'm dipping my toe, and you can't dip it. You gotta go, right? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my car. I'm gonna drive around by myself, and I'm from Chicago. We drive like not aggressively, like you could say aggressive. People would say aggressively, but I'd say confidently. And it's like, oh, there's yellow. I'm going, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
You'll fit right in here then.
People don't cut people off. It's like I am strategic. Like I know exactly where I'm going. You stay at the you decided you're going at that pace. Like everyone's fine.
Yes.
Just everyone stay as confident as you are and just let it happen. It's great in Chicago. Here, everything's like a 2-car delay.
How do you mean?
Like we will always let 2 extra cars go through a red light.
Yes. It's
a 2-car delay.
You didn't know that,
right? I didn't know that. So I'm driving and I'm like going. And just like the pace of it.
The 10 and 2 hands. He brought out the 10 and 2 hands, everybody.
I had the 10 and 2 hands. But I'm sitting here going like, trying to go forward more. And people are like, chill. And I'm like, it's like, we're going to let you go, but you're going to go slow, right? And I'm like, no, I just want to like go for a consistent pace. No, we don't go a consistent pace here.
No, sometimes we go fast and sometimes we go slow. Sometimes we change it up. Sometimes we drive in more than one lane at a time. Sometimes we be in the fastest lane and go the slowest, and sometimes we go in the slowest lane and be the fastest. You know?
It's just so I try to get acclimated just by like I'm gonna drive. I'm learning the streets. I'm learning the area.
You know that Brian Reagan line that he does where he goes, "Merge, everybody, merge."
Yeah.
Think about that all the time.
I have a lot of anxiety right now. That was me. No, I wasn't imploding. I had anxiety at the moment, but. And so it was bad and people were beeping at me and I was like, oh man, I'm getting beeped at. So I went back and I pulled in. Like I was fine, but it was just like, nope, that didn't work. That didn't put me at ease at all. That just made me feel like I'm not a part of this.
Yeah. So here's what ended up saving me in Los Angeles.
And then I can tell you my
that regard is, I got a job selling Vitamix blenders.
Oh wow.
In different Costco's all across Los Angeles.
That sounds fun. Kind of like you get to get acclimated to the area, right?
It does sound fun, doesn't it? You're doing belly to belly sales. Here's the reason why I got into it.
What's belly to belly?
Talking to you.
Oh, okay. Like
I'm right here.
One-on-one. Yeah.
You are a person. I have a thing I want you to buy from me.
I'll take it.
I have to sell it. We are belly belly. We are right here.
Give me one. I got it.
I'm not calling anybody. I got that job because I dual majored in film and video production and advertising.
Yeah.
And I was a big head in the advertising program by the time I left Grand Valley. I had won a bunch of competitions and done a bunch of things. I was the president of the, you remember that? I was the president of the advertising club. But I felt like once I got here to Los Angeles, I was like, I couldn't fucking sell anything to anyone.
Right.
Like, I knew how to come up with cute little lines and fun advertisements on After Effects. That was about the extent of what I had to do. But if I had to sell you something, I didn't know where the fuck to start. Right. So I got into selling $500 blenders in Costco road shows to complete strangers as a social experiment because I wanted to learn how to actually sell something to somebody. It's good, but it was 100% commission based.
Oh, jeez.
No.
I mean, that's sink or sail.
Sink or swim. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it was, Lou. I was like, either I'm going to sell a lot and make my money, or I'm going to completely fail and not make any money.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to completely fail and not make any money. I'm either going to learn how to swim or I'm going to drown. And so I learned how to swim. It was a very hard job. I did it for 8 months and I quit as soon as I could. It was very, very hard. But when I first lived here in Los Angeles, I moved to Koreatown. How much time have you spent driving in Koreatown?
I've been. I know the area.
Yeah.
It's pretty busy.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Lewis. It's the worst, man.
I don't like to go down there.
So bad. People just stopping in the middle of the roads. Here's one of my pet peeves about people who drive in Los Angeles. If you live in Los Angeles and you drive like this, you're one of my pet peeves. You don't turn your left turn signal on until the light turns green. I fucking hate you.
Wow.
You ever seen one of these people?
I'm going to let you have it, but I'm like, you can have it. I just seen it as many times as any other place.
So there's 2 lanes of traffic. There's a left lane and a right lane. The people in the left lane, once the light turns green, that's when they turn their left turn signal on to mean that they're not moving. They're not gonna go until they get a clear.
I don't see this.
You don't see this?
No, I don't see
Oh
this.
my gosh.
That's so funny though.
Well, the thing about Burbank,
I would be really mad.
Lewis lives in Burbank. The thing about Burbank is that the lights there are very long, but they are all designated.
Yeah, they all have like left turn lanes.
Yeah, they all have left turn lanes. They all have green arrows.
West Hollywood did not have those.
Koreatown does not have those either.
Yeah, I lived in West Hollywood. It was terrible.
So yeah, he lived in West Hollywood. West Hollywood does not have them. They have little signs that say, "Please don't turn left between the hours of 4 and 7."
Right.
But outside of that, they have nothing.
That's true. I didn't have that big of an issue though. I just knew the right way to go. I just knew the road to take.
I was driving a fuck ton for these jobs. They were traveling road shows. So every day around 8 or 9 in the morning, I was up on the road doing this. So I learned how to drive really, really well, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, as soon as I moved here to Los Angeles, which is why I don't mind driving for Lyft, because I just figured out the ebbs and flows of this absolutely fucking insane commute in Los Angeles. People say the traffic here is really, really bad, and I totally agree with you. But remember when I asked you what your favorite city in Los Angeles, your favorite city in the United States was?
I didn't answer that, did I? Oh, I said Chicago.
Yeah, you said Chicago. Mine's Los Angeles.
Because you like the traffic?
No, not because I like the traffic. Just because I feel like this is one of the few places in America where the American dream is still alive and well. Because you can come to this city and you can do literally anything that you want. You can go anywhere that you want. You can do anything that you want to do. The possibilities are literally endless, at least here in 2019. Because you can be online and everybody, people love Los Angeles stuff all over the world. So you can be YouTubing everything that you do. You can start a hemp company, a CBD company. You could be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You can come here and there's enough money here where somebody will buy whatever you're selling as long as you believe in it enough.
I don't know about that.
Well, as long as it's with good moral intention.
Oh, I think actually if it's bad moral intention, people will be more prone to buy it, but
perchance. But you can I believe that Los Angeles, you can come here, you can do anything that you want to do.
Yeah.
And the weather's fantastic. And yes, traffic sucks. But that's because the weather's so great and there's so much money here that so many people move here because they can do anything that they want. So yeah, that's a caveat of it. That's one of the cons. You just got to deal with it. There's a lot of people on the fucking road because there's a lot of people here because everybody likes it. Because it's good. there's a lot of homeless people. There's tons of homeless people. Why? Because the weather is so fucking good here. You can live outside all year round, damn near it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of homeless people. It's like one of the cons. A lot of people ask you for money. You just gotta kind of grow a hard head to it. I don't know. I love this city. I think it's fantastic. It's my home now. There's a lot of other cities in this country I also fucking love. I love Denver. I love...
Denver was nice.
Denver's great.
I drove through Denver to get here.
I really did enjoy Austin. That was a pretty good time. Even enjoy, like, Scottsdale's all right. I don't mind Scottsdale too much. Arizona?
Yeah, okay.
Have you been to Arizona?
Yeah, I've been to Arizona.
Did you go to the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Done that. But I didn't do that, like, on the drive here. I have a second cousin.
I did the Grand Canyon on the trip back to Detroit after that summer.
Yeah.
I moved out here, and that was a sight. That was cool.
They have, like, less oxygen there.
What?
In Arizona, like the oxygen is, like, low, and there's a lot of heat, and then they're high up and stuff. So,
what? How do you mean they have less oxygen?
like my second cousin, he's like old. He's like in his 60s, 70s. Right?
Yeah.
But he has, like, an oxygen tank. Because, like, I think he already has, like, a little bit of condition, but, like, he's got, like, a lot of money, and he, like, lives up on a hill.
Yeah.
But, like, up there is like not as good to breathe, and so he'll, like, drive down, and it's, like, easier. It's like,
wow.
There's like a.
It's like some Mount Everest shit right there.
Sort of, yeah. I think it's like a yeah. I can't explain it. It's been a while. I mean, I went there back when I was, how old was I? Like 16, 15, 16.
So you've never been to New York and you want to go to Italy. This is another thing I wanted to get back on top of.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to go to the tourist. I went to Italy. I went to the cities I mentioned to you. I really want to go to the south
Of Italy?
like Sicily.
Sicily.
Because people say that that's like real Italy. Like Rome's great. Florence is great.
Pretty touristy.
I loved Venice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was when I went to Venice. For some reason, the week that I went to Venice, it wasn't as busy as Venice normally is. Most people say it's just wall-to-wall people all the fucking time. And the whole city smells and there's tons of mosquitoes. They're like, I went like August 10th-ish. And there were a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I could move. And it wasn't too bad. And the water levels were fine. The city didn't smell at all. Right. And the mosquitoes were moderate.
Okay.
I fucking fell in love with Venice. Wow. Absolutely loved it. But let me know if you want to go. If you end up in the southern part of Italy, I'd come out for a week and come hang out with you out there. We could drink some really good wine, even though you don't drink. I could force some wine upon you without your consent. And it's supposed to just be absolutely gorgeous. Do you watch Parts Unknown with Anthony Bourdain?
Oh, no. I don't. I'm not a foodie. I don't watch any food shows.
Oh, you should definitely watch Anthony Bourdain because it's... What?
We were talking about this earlier. It's like...
What?
Because I don't like to recommend stuff to people. Because I'm like... I don't want to recommend stuff to people because I want to act like I know you enough to recommend something to you.
Yeah.
Because people do that to me, and I'm just like, I hate everything. Why would you recommend that to me? Why would you think? And then I'll go and I'll give them a shot and I'll go watch something on Netflix and I'll sit there and then like 10 minutes in I'm like, I'm done. I just can't. This is waste. This is done.
Watch the Sicily episode on Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown on Netflix.
I'll give it 10 minutes.
Fine. That's fine. Yeah. It's so great. He is so fantastic in the way that he experiences the culture of a city. Mm-hmm. That's what I like about it because in a 40-minute episode, mm-hmm. about 5 or 6 minutes is about food. The other 35 minutes is about the culture. It's about the people. Mm-hmm. It's about the government, the local things that go on. It's about the things. It's about going to Rome and finding a punk rock band. It's about going to Colombia
That's
and
cool.
experiencing the baseball culture. It's about it's
cool.
it's just not about the food. He eats genuine cuisine and talks about it and is like, this is like Anthony Bourdain criticizing food on most of these shows. Is like, this is really fucking good. Can I have another beer? All right, great. Like, that's about it, and he says what he's having. Yeah, there's the beans in here. And why do you guys eat this? Oh, because you live in a communist government and they only allow you to have eat fucking beans, rice, and chicken. And that's why here in Cuba, that's all that you guys fucking eat. And that's why this is Cuban cuisine, is because you figured out the best ways to make this work underneath your communist government. I mean, I would really recommend just checking it out, man, because
French toast, huh?
And the videography for it, the editing, the music, everything about it is just a phenomenal documentary piece.
Okay.
And the Sicily episode, I got so high. And when I was in Rome, I met many people from Italy who were like, wait, you're not going to Sicily? Like, that's better than any of the parts that you've been to. That's like the truest of Italian culture.
Okay.
So I cannot wait to
I won't
go
go
back.
to, you said Marone?
Marone.
Like Rome, Italy, Florence,
Milan.
Milan,
And Venice.
Venice.
Yeah.
So I won't go to Milan.
I would skip Milan.
I go to Sicily.
Milan's very much of like a business-ish city. If that makes sense.
I don't get any business. No business. No,
The dating app guy doesn't have business. What do you guys think about that? I'm just kidding.
only with one woman.
Oh,
Stop shop.
man.
No, that's good.
What's the name of your book? It's Swipe Love? Swipe Love?
SwipeLove.
That's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
It's one word?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
By Lewis Stone.
Lewis.
Lewis.
Lewis, stone like a rock. Because I like to think I've written a book that gives you a good firm foundation.
Emphasis on firm.
Yeah.
Um,
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lewis Stone Says.
Lewis Stone Says. Everybody can find him on Instagram and Twitter at Lewis Stone Says. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can. How do you like to wrap it up?
Usually ending with the social handle of where people can find you and your stuff and your book.
Yeah.
And then
You can find me on. Let me make sure the phone's working.
I don't know if you're.
I don't know how that would happen.
Oh, it's totally on.
27 minutes.
All right, great.
Perfect enough to wrap this up.
Yeah, 4 minutes. Go.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Chad.
I'm not gonna cut this. I don't know if you watched. I'm not cutting this, so you look
but
good.
seriously, thanks for having me on. I really
Yeah, of
appreciate
course.
you reaching out to me.
I'm super glad that you came on. You know, I'm super glad that we reconnected, that you responded to my tweet of all things.
Yeah.
Because I don't tweet on Twitter hardly ever.
Yeah.
Like, you probably have not seen a tweet from me in a very long time before you saw that one.
Yeah. I don't respond to a lot of tweets either.
Really?
No. But I saw that one. I was like, must be doing something right.
That's fate.
It's Pete Davidson. No, that's not Pete. That's not Pete. Right.
So, okay, people can find you.
Find me on Instagram and Twitter. Hit me up. DM me, whatever you want. We can talk. Happy to talk about anything you want. We can figure it out. You got questions about dating apps, questions about dating, questions about relationships. You want to ask me a personal question? Maybe I'll answer that. I don't know. We'll find out how personal that gets. But yeah, at Instagram and Twitter, Lewis Stone Says. Happy to talk. My book, SwipeLove, Building Quality Relationships Beyond the Screen, is not out yet for pre-order, but it will be on Amazon soon. So be on the lookout.
All right, great. And let me know when that's on Amazon, and I will put out a link on my story about that for you, and maybe put out a post too.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, dude. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.